Nerdrotic.com.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all, and welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner. My name is Gary Beekler. I come to you from Nerdrotic.com. And I am live in San Diego, North County. Beautiful San Diego, North County, California, where the sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and flying into my window. These little, I don't know what they are, but they keep flying into my window. You might hear it. If you hear a thud, it's a bird, but they're usually fine, usually. Greetings, everyone. We're going to get right to some of the super chats that were left behind last night. That's how we're going to start it out. And it's going to actually lead right into what we're going to talk about, which is going to be Chris Pratt. There'll be a video out tomorrow on this as well, with some other things. The obvious, Hollywood letting the SJW wolf in the door, and it's biting him in the ass. And I mean, at this point, it's kind of like when you get older, and I'm not that old, but I'm not that young. I'm right in the middle, towards the end a little bit though. You recognize, I'll use my I statements. I recognize when I see something in a youngster that I did that was completely stupid. And you can tell that youngster, oh, don't do that, because I've done that. And well, it was dumb and it led me down a bad, but they're not going to listen. So you just kind of sit back and watch and see if they, things turn out differently for them, or see if the same thing happens to them that happened to you, which, happens a lot of the time. And that's all you can do. That's kind of where we're at with Hollywood. We're starting, Neil Gaiman came out last week, Bounding into Comics did an article on this, talking about why fans are the way they are. And that's why we're going to talk about the Fandom Menace again, why fans that are the way they are. And now Hollywood is, I don't know if they're beginning to understand, but they're seeing the consequences. I doubt Mark Ruffalo is going to understand or change his ways ever. Why should he? It's worked out for him pretty well. He's a multimillionaire. He pretends pretty good. He's in one of my, I love Zodiac. I freaking love Zodiac. It's a great movie. But it's hard to watch this stuff after you see these guys. And I really try to separate the art from the artist, but not now. Not now. I'm finding there's better things to do, like watch live streams. So thank you and welcome. Let's get to those. Well, first, let's see who's here. Then we'll get to the super chats. Then we'll get to the stories. No time limit today. No major time limit today, shall we say. So we have Jeffrey Riley, Project Storytime, Gypsy Warrior, Ben Lunch, Canadian Spider-Man. Oh, how's it going, eh? Joe Bag of Donuts, Eric K. and his wrench. WH1U. Oh, I got what you're saying there. Drakenshot, Phoenix Tangent, Jennifer Cisco, who is a member, Bird of Prey 5, Kapla, my friend, Leftist. All are welcome here. And he says, hail cancel culture. Project Storytime. Oh, I already said that one. Vintage Comic Love, Nerd Cookies. Great channel. Go check it out. She talks about Lord of the Rings and all kinds of good stuff. Phil McCracken. Is your friend here, Phil McCrevis? Dixon Cider. I'm sure they'll all show up. Azusa Street. Donald Hickok. Chris Persia, the Canadian Wrench. Hungry Ewok. Watch out for those hungry Ewoks. And Flying Dre 78, Culture Casino, welcome, sir. Andrew Hoyle, and Lady Gravemaster, the producer of this show. All right. Hi. Let's get to those super chats real quick, and then we'll get rolling. We're also going to talk about the current state of Clownifornia, and I got out of San Francisco. Well, I can't say just in the nick of time because I still have a house to sell there, which is that's a big if. But there is a Karen Act in San Francisco that was just passed. I shit you not, a Karen Act. We will discuss that as well, and all kinds of other goodies. So first and foremost, I can't display these, so you're just going to have to trust me. We had 5 or 6 left from last night. Excuse me. Russian bot. By the way, I got all my orders Russian bot. Thank you very much. I'll get to them as soon as possible. What do you think about Robert Downey Jr. defending Chris Pratt? Well, I'm going to discuss that more. We're going to go over an article about that. I think it's good. I think it's great. Robert Downey Jr. has made no secret about his politics, but I don't think he's been particularly obnoxious about it other than showing up in a cringe video 4 years ago. I haven't seen Robert Downey Jr. being divisive and calling the president's supporters names, or demonizing them, which, again, in a vacuum by itself, I personally don't give a shit what people say about me on the internet. It's never affected me and never will. When they are doing that, you are nothing but pixels, and pixels have no power over me. And you know what? The cancel culture has the power that we give it, and that's what we are going to discuss. I think it's good that he defended his friend. I think it is interesting that he didn't defend Brie Larson during those times, but it's obvious Brie Larson was calling out a large portion of the paying customer of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. FN for 10 Canadian pesos. Hail, have you seen any recent San Francisco horror or fantasy TV films without the intersectionality bullshit? I'm in my 40s, having to go back to my Columbia House VHS for my Zenitude. What the hell? By the way, AMC's, it says AMC's Utopia effing reeks. Yeah, it looked, is that on AM? I don't know what AMZ is. Are you talking about the Utopia that's on, is it on AMC? I thought it was on HBO. Whatever. I saw the trailer. It didn't look like much to me. JM for $5. Democrats and Wall Street being more than friends goes back to at least the 90s merger mania that fueled the 90s stock market bubble. It went directly to the Clinton administration. The Clinton administration ruined terrestrial radio, but it also created talk radio, which he helped create Rush Limbaugh. But there was a regulation that one company could not own more than a couple stations within a city, and they did away with that. And that brought in big companies. I forgot the name of the big one. That came in and they bought all the radio stations and they all started sounding the same. And it was bad for radio. I was a big fan of radio. Bobby Sharps for $5. Coincidence that your stream is skipping tonight. Antitrust in Silicon Valley is a great thing. Will lead to bigger and better things in 20 years. Bobby Sharps, I would hope so if it was applied correctly. And I will discuss that too. We will talk about the YouTube lawsuit. I should have put that in the title, but it didn't fit. And I needed to put in the Karen's Republic of Clownifornia. Nick Pruitt, Mr. Medicare has health issues keeping him from producing content. Now, I'm sorry. Yeah, I heard he has cancer. I hope he gets better soon. I hope it's bad, but yeah, he's not around here much anymore because of YouTube's rules and because they lean towards the side of leftist intersectionality, and they silence voices that, sure, they're salty, but last time I checked, this was supposed to be a platform for mostly adults, And I think most adults can decipher, except if you're somebody who's on Twitter for any amount of time. I don't know. Part of the Twitterati, not the good people there. I'm not sure if you could decipher reality at all at this point. Red the Elf for $5. Remember the joke action figures called the cronies from 6 years ago? They're becoming more and more relevant and realistic with time, aren't they? Yes. Well, a lot of things that we didn't take that seriously because they were hilariously cringe and bad should now be taken seriously because we are in clown world. Neil Rushton and HKP30 both donated £5 and $5. Thank you very much. Very much. Fabio Creo for $10. Hey, Gary, sorry I came late. Did I miss anything? Oh, and by the way, hashtag release the Picard review. I will. That is going to be, okay. So, let's see. All right. If I missed any more, because these got all jumbled up. Here we go. Casey Osowski, as someone who has been a victim of a form of abuse as a child, I can tell you it's not okay. It's never okay. And we were talking about cuties. Southeastern Kaiju, thank you for the super sticker. Lord of the Rings set picks, link on the doc, says Lady Gravemaster, which we will look at in just a moment. Eric, thank you for the $2. Eric Hatton, you're not supposed to super chat. Eric Hahn for $4.99. Hail Gary. That is all. And Lorena Creole needs to be on Friday Night Tights, says David Keffer. Wow, there was a lot. There we go. And I agree with that. And the Gardening Snail of Living, and this is the last one, for $10. I'm one of those tiny YouTubers trying to keep my local government as honest as possible while explaining what goes on at meetings and why people should care. And you and Doomcock help keep me sane. Thanks. You're an up-and-coming YouTuber, and all you can do is be as honest as possible. Speak your mind. You don't have to be the news. You don't have to break any news. You don't have to scoop anybody. If you're good at the gift of gab and you just want to talk, do it. And yes, you have to go to AA meetings in person. The Zoom stuff doesn't work, but if it's your only option, you have to do it. All right. Excuse me. I need to drink some of my water. Fasting is so much fun. Day two. So Chris Pratt is currently, and still, I haven't checked in the last hour because I've been prepping for the stream. But Date Eraser put some stuff together that we're going to go over. Chris Pratt is getting canceled because he goes to church, basically. He's a Christian. It's religious bigotry. And yes, that is a thing. So what I'm guessing is SJW, straight, whatever's out there try to call out Chris Pratt, who's never said anything that I know of. He's never done anything to deserve any of this. He goes to church. He didn't attend a Joe Biden event, and all the false assumptions came down on him, maybe stemmed from him wearing a shirt saying, "Don't tread on me." This is Twitter logic. And again, it only has power if we give them that power. And, even talking about it makes things worse. But this one is egregious. And I think it's a good example of why you don't let the wolf into the door like this. This is your consequences, Hollywood. They have arrived. They're biting you in the balls, in the ass, wherever you want to be bit. That's where they're biting you. Mark Ruffalo, these are your fans. These are your boys. These are your girls. These are your non-binaries. This is the fan base that you have incubated, cultivated, grown into this large, conglomerate of insanity, mental illness, and a large group of people with no meaning in their lives, which is a problem in this country, obviously, on Twitter. Now, is it good thing that they might be just on that platform and they're busy on that platform and they're not doing any damage anywhere else? Yes, I think that probably is. So as I stated yesterday, and I said it, so I got to stick with it. I'm going to not interact on Twitter anymore on December 31st. And I don't know how much I am from here until now. Will my channel probably take a hit from it? Sure, I guess. I mean, there's a lot of people who come over when I share it, a link on Twitter for my live streams and my videos. But I think I'll just have to get by at this point, because my first mistake was I went on Twitter yesterday, first thing, and I saw an as tweet that's it was pretty salty, and it was responding to another one that was just completely dumb. I'm paraphrasing. The account said that Chris Pratt's bio reeks of white supremacy and anti-alphabetism, I guess I'll say. And all it says in his bio is, I love Jesus, my wife, my family, the Seahawks, and MMA. Yeah, it just reeks of istophobe, doesn't it? But it's actually the people doing this who are the bigots. Obviously, I know you know this. And I decided to, as his response, I think, was that tweet reeks of you being a dumbass or something like that. So I'm like, I'll say my 2 cents too. So I quoted Talladega Nights, and I got immediately suspended for 12 hours. Then I voluntarily did another 12 just because I was enjoying myself so much. And then I looked at Data Racer's tweets and what people were saying to Chris, who are currently on the platform. They weren't suspended. There was a lot of ist going on, especially towards Zoe Saldana. So a bunch of people came out to defend Chris Pratt, including his fellow Avengers. Now, before we even get started with that, this is why you don't make a political platform out of the MCU and the Avengers and Marvel Comics, because they're meant to be fun. That's all. They are not this important thing that can sway elections, guide people in their lives. They are not influential in that manner. When you try to make them influential instead of making them what they are, stories that are supposed to entertain as many people as possible. And if you can somehow subtly get your message across because you're a talented writer, feel free. Or if you want to use specific titles, feel free. But the Avengers franchise should not be used as a platform. Star Trek should not be used as a platform. Star Wars should not be used as a platform. And now you're seeing why. Because, I mean, the age-old adage, you do not talk about religion and politics on Thanksgiving dinner, at Thanksgiving dinner. Although Thanksgiving is canceled right now, so I don't know. And it divides everybody, gets them arguing, and it ruins the dinner. And you didn't have that dinner to sit there and influence your family to vote or anything. Martin Scorsese wasn't entirely wrong when he equated a Marvel movie to a amusement park ride, a roller coaster. I don't give a shit what the politics are of Space Mountain or of Colossus at Magic Mountain, and I don't give a shit what the Avengers politics are. If an actor like Mark Ruffalo tells me who to vote for, chances are I will vote for the opposite just because Mark Ruffalo told me to. They pretend very, very well. They're good at their jobs, but the only thing they can do is damage at this point, and that's what they've done. They've added to the divisiveness. We've talked about this before, and now it's biting them in the ass, and they're seeing it firsthand. Will they learn a lesson from it? I don't know. I believe that a lot of these people think they've got it figured out. They're millionaires. I got my shit figured out until you don't. But Robert Downey Jr. came out and defended his buddy. And I thought that was cool. I thought it was all right. Let's see. We'll go right here. and find out what he said. Now, I would have liked to have heard this when, as it relates to some of your fans who have been attacked. That would have been nice. But personally, I have nothing against Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr., Katherine Schwarzenegger, and more defend Chris Pratt from online criticism. Robert Downey Jr. is sticking up for Chris Pratt. On Tuesday, the actor took to Instagram to defend his Marvel co-star after being dragged online for not participating in the Avengers reunion in support of former Vice President and Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden. What a world, Robert Downey Jr. said. The sinless are casting stones at my brother Chris Pratt, a real Christian who lives by principles, has never demonstrated anything but positivity and gratitude. And he just married into a family that makes space for civil discourse and, just plain fact, insists on service as the highest value. Downey Jr. wrote, "If you take issue with Chris, I've got a novel idea. Delete your social media accounts. Sit with your own defects of character, work on them, then celebrate your humanness. Hashtag, I got your back. Well, that's great. See, Robert Downey Jr. is in recovery. And aside from politics I disagree with, I find him to be an inspiration, a beacon of hope to those of us who suffer from the disease of addiction. And he shows that you can claw your way out of it, because addiction doesn't care if you're rich, doesn't care what color you are. It's not like the coronavirus. It doesn't know what time it is. It doesn't know what region it's in. It just gets you when you are unlucky enough through nature to be born with some brain chemistry that doesn't allow you to have a drink now and then or spark up now and then. There's no now and then for us addicts. It's every day, all the time. It's the only thing we think of once that thing is triggered by a conscious decision. So, and that's something Twitter doesn't understand. That's something we can't even talk about right now, is gratitude and inspiration. Most of what you see, what you're about to see from Data Racer, by the way, follow Data Racer, Data Racer 117 on Twitter. International treasure. And what you're about to see is a product of a life without meaning, the pandemic of insecurity that's going on, just general lack of well-being. Your mental well-being is something I have to work on constantly. And if I don't, that's on me. You can't just, that's something that Twitter has fostered as well, to the point where people are putting it on their bios, their mental health issues. And that it's not anything you need to be proud of or hate about yourself, but I would say it's something you have to deal with. And if you were born with it, that's too bad. I was born with some, that's too bad. I've got to figure it out, because it's not anybody else's fault. And I can't expect the world to cater to my needs. I can't expect the world to shut down all the bars when I walk by, or whatever, or put out that joint when I walk by. No, I just have to deal with it. It's neither good nor bad. It is. It just is. So we have a lot of people who don't know what to do with this, and it is mental health. It is sick what is going on. And some of it surely is just trolling. And then the vast majority of it is serious, though. And we will go right here. I'll do this first. Get to Data Racer. We've got a couple to go over here, because this is just the latest. You guys all know. This is just the latest. So here are the defenders. And Mark Ruffalo came out, Zoe Saldana, James Gunn, Josh Gad. Okay, so Josh Gad has been obnoxious on Twitter, going after president supporters, calling them Yahtzees, calling them phobes. So has Mark Ruffalo. James Gunn did it in the past. He also made some very crude jokes that I would never make. I again say I don't think he should have been canceled. I don't think Roseanne Barr should have been fired either. That being said, if I had young ones, I wouldn't have James Gunn babysit them. But I do think he was just joking. But that was a lot of jokes about that. But that being said, that's water under the bridge. They came out and defended him. And then we got this kind of response. Now, this is just your basic shut the F up. You're an idiot. Whatever. That's Twitter. Over here, but spooky says counterpoint. You and your friends can eat shit. And here, I guess I'll read one of the defenses. We'll say, Zoe, no matter how hard it gets, stick your chest out, keep your head up, and handle it, Tupac. Yep. You got this, Chris Pratt. Your family, friends, colleagues, and everyone who's ever crossed paths with you knows your heart and your worth. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. They don't get better than Chris Pratt, says Josh Gad. I wish you would remember that about your fans and people out there. And not, listen, I'm not talking about people who come at you directly and make personal attacks. I'm talking about the unsolicited attacks I've seen on Twitter. Now, Twitter's lame. This is why I don't go there. This is why I don't really interact like this. I figure I'm 51. I've lived a pretty fucking hard life. So I got 20 years left if I'm lucky. I don't want to waste a motherfucking minute of it with this shit. This is why I like YouTube. We can sit here and talk. We can exchange some ideas. I can have friends on. We could have a nice 3 or 4, 5 hour conversation about this. Twitter is just made for this. But then we see, the ism already, the way white men go out there, the way white men go out of their way to defend their phobic friends. So has Chris Pratt ever said anything homophobic? I don't think so. Just because you're a Christian, does that make you automatically homophobic? No. That's a broad generalization that would make you a bigot. I just want white men to start shutting the F up. Oh, Michael is in trouble. That's his title there. Yeah, we're not going to. We're not going to. At least I'm not going to. I can't. I'm an individual. Yeah, I can't speak for everyone. Some of you might. Here's a Hunter hates the Yuan twins. I don't even know what the hell that is. Looks like a young white girl right there says, I hate white men. I don't know if you can see that one or not. Here, I'll stretch it out. There we go. There it is. She doesn't like white men. Oh, okay. Hope that's on your Tinder. Probably is, to be honest with you. All right. Then it gets so much worse when it gets to Zoe Saldana. And this case in point, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Exhibit A through Z that the Fandom Menace has the hashtag, a loose collection of individuals united in the principle of respecting the fan, respecting our modern mythology, protecting fandom. Exhibit A through Z. What we have been talking about all of this time. And listen, these are fans. They're going to say what they want. This is free speech. It's great that it's here so we can show it. This is a great example. And if this stuff was deleted, we wouldn't be able to see that example. You see how this works? Now, remember, I was removed from Twitter and I don't care for 12 hours for saying the R word twice in a sentence, which I'm going to remember and keep in my back pocket. And then there's what is said here, which I will not repeat. I could probably get in trouble for showing this, but whatever. Things like this. Do you know that you're black? I mean, K-word all Christians. K-word all Christians. These are the good guys. These are your heroes. So brave. So stunning. Oh my God. I'm stunned by the bravery. Oh, you are so good. Why can't I be as good as you? Oh man, I can't even say that one. You will die in 7 days. Yeah, this is garbage. And remember, this was just the latest one. There was Gal Gadot, who simply took a role, and we've got anti-Semitism all over the place. I mean, just everywhere. And this one has been waiting to rear its ugly head. Again, case in point. And then, of course, there was our own. I love how Data Racer saves me so much work. And that's J.K. Rowling. Yep, she went through it too. And then, of course, our own Gina Carano, who will be showing up in the Cara Dune show in 9 days. Same thing. So Gina went out there, said some stuff that she believed in, and backed it up. I mean, Chris Pratt hasn't said anything. It's probably the best thing to do. But Gina stays on Twitter. Nothing's been able to touch her, by the way. So I wish the rest of, because I know a lot of Hollywood out there just bends the knee because you think you can appease these. How well did appeasement do? How well has appeasement done in the past? Ever? How has that ever worked? So Gina didn't back down, and, you know, she gets it from time to time, but she just keeps moving along. Probably has fun with it. Chris Pratt tried to simply be apolitical, not get involved. And then we have a great take from Grace Randolph. Let's see if it's up. She tweets like 1 million times a day. So there it is. This one's a hot take. Let's go to it. Grace Randolph, who used to work for Marvel, a little web show called Watchers. I'm not going to say anything personal here. She has a big YouTube channel. A lot of people like it. I probably share some subs. I just disagree with her on this take. I'm not touching this Chris Pratt debacle, yet you're tweeting about it. Bottom line, the box office will decide. Well, that's if there's a box office. But based on 2 days of trending top 10 in a row with a very negative slant, I'd advise some serious damage control. He can no longer have it both ways like he's been trying to do. So many assumptions here. What exactly has Chris Pratt done? And by the way, Grace Randolph, who gives a shit what has been trending on Twitter for 2.5 days? They curate that. We don't know if it was genuinely trending on Twitter or not. And I don't think he's listening to you. I hope not. I hope he's not listening to me. But I would say, go about your business, Chris. Do what you're doing. This will go away. Twitter will find somebody else to cancel. They have no power here. Only the power you give it. If this happened to Grace Randolph, this would probably crush her because Twitter is important to her. So she follows up with a worse take. By the way, yeah, not touching this. Show me where Grace Randolph didn't touch this. I will say that his coworkers shouldn't defend him because he did this to himself. What did he do? What exactly did he do? Go to church? wear a t-shirt, not attend a Joe Biden event. By the way, Robert Downey Jr. didn't go. Brie Larson didn't go. And he's the only one who can get out of it. So they're taking hits for nothing. No, they're taking hits for their friend, maybe. I don't know. I don't want to assume. They might not be friends. They're their co-worker. Maybe they're starting to understand that bending the knee to this bullshit is, well, counterintuitive to their cause, which is to make money. And, you know, I'm not here to white knight for any millionaires. I'm not. I'm here to point out that this is what Hollywood allowed in the door, and people like Grace Randolph still appease and placate by pushing this narrative forward. This is nothing more than stupidity, a circle jerk of stupidity. Quarter black. I'm not touching this. Proceeds to touch it. More actors need to not be political. This pushing people to endorse candidates is dumb as hell. Exactly. And that is my entire point. This is why you do not get political with the Avengers, with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. All it can do is damage, and you're not convincing anyone to vote. And anyone who goes, well, Robert Downey Jr., or no, he didn't even go. I don't even know who went. Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle is going to vote for Biden. I think I should too. I really liked him in Boogie Nights. Maybe you shouldn't be allowed to vote. So yeah, carry on, Chris Pratt. Do what you're doing. I don't like or dislike Grace Randolph. She is another YouTuber, whatever. She can have her takes, but you know, it's Grace Randolph and Movie Bob and others who give this stuff validity, but they love it. See, that she lives for this drama. She sees drama like this. She goes, ooh, she gets all excited. It's kind of like the newsroom when there's a disaster. You can tell that they're just loving it. You know, thousands of people are dead. Oh, yes, we got a disaster to talk about. Yeah, it's the same thing. Grace Randolph. I'll just leave it there. I know she has her fans, and that's cool. That's fine. I just think that was beyond cringe. Beyond the cringe. But fuck, man, reading some of those Data Racer tweets, I don't know how he finds those. But I mean, I go back and I check those accounts. They're there. They're up there. And that's exactly why I don't spend a lot of time on Twitter. For me personally, it's a distraction. I need to focus on making content here, and my family and other things. Hour a day, maybe. I usually don't go there first time. But yeah. So Hollywood has another problem. Obviously, it resides in California. That's been their big problem. And this one thing leads into another here. So just like Hollywood, not everybody, hashtag not all, but a lot like Mark Ruffalo incubating SJWs on Twitter who come out and eventually bite the hand that fed them. We also have the politics of Hollywood. They obviously have always leaned one way. They have supported Governor Newsom. They have supported Mayor Garcetti. These are people who are now shutting them down. And Disney has nothing they're complaining right now. They went out there. They made a statement, paraphrasing the statement. We have done the science on this. We have opened up Disney World. It is safe. Even the New York Times agrees, like anybody gives a shit about that. I mean, I would rather the Inquirer agree than the New York Times. But they've been able to do it without any problems, major problems. And there's no reason they can't do it in California. And yes, I realize the numbers from testing have gone up. I realize there is a COOF out there. I realize we're heading into flu season. I also realize that whether you open Disney or close, it's not going to make any difference anymore. My good friend Eric July says this, and this is a fact. The COOF is here, and it's no matter how you could lock down everybody again, and it's still going to affect people because you can't lock down everybody. So people are still going to go outside, go on their walks. It's still going to get around. And how good did it do last time? People can say, oh, it did great. It could have been so much worse. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know that. All I know is things were getting better. Then a bunch of people went rioting and looting. And we said, well, we're going to see a spike if this thing's the real deal. And it was the real deal. And we saw a spike, and then they blamed it on businesses. And California just used it as a power play and continue to close things down. And we have kids who basically this year, there is no kid learning jack shit on Zoom. I'm sure the teachers are trying their very best. And I'm sure there's some really good students out there. And, but come on, it's a lost year. It's a lost year. We had an opportunity to come together. I've said this before early on to work things out. Hollywood had an opportunity to figure things out. The comic industry had an opportunity. Instead, we were focused on canceling Chris Pratt, canceling Gal Gadot, worried about the mythical Yahtzees that are around every corner. And now everything has fallen apart. And now Disney's getting mad at Gavin Newsom, a guy that they helped put in the office. I have no sympathy. I have sympathy for the employees, but the employees supported them too, to large numbers. So you lose my sympathy. And unless you recall this guy, like right now, nothing's going to change. And there's not going to be the numbers to recall him. I would love there to be. And there is a website to go to, I think, for signatures. Doubt he's going to get reelected. Gavin Newsom has the Kardashian hair going on, says Red Rooster for $2. Yes, he does. He always has. He used to go to, I can't say the salon. He used to go to a salon in San Francisco where my wife used to work. My wife used to work at DiPietro Todd. Then she worked at another salon. Then she bought her own, started her own thing. And then it's gone. And, it's gone. I could sit here all day. And this is a good lesson for people on Twitter. I'll try to, I could complain all day about how we were victimized by Winnie the Pooh and London Breed and Gavin Newsom. And I will certainly say my piece on that. And then we move on to the next project. I'm not going to sit there and wallow in this shit. For one, that gives them, I am going to depower these people over my life. Best way I can by leaving. Animaniacs is woke now. What? Just seen Twitter DM on it. No good for 5 Canadian pesos. I'm not surprised. Everything coming out now is going to be woke. So yeah, Disney brought this on themselves. Their statement again was, hey, we did everything safe. We did everything cool. And by the way, California has to get into yellow for Disney to open up. And there is some talks in some corners that this is going to take a year. Well, there will be no hotels to go to. There will be no restaurants to go stay at Disneyland. Gavin Newsom's entire strategy is based on federal bailouts. Now, he just got one. But there's got to be a point where these states have to figure this out on their own. Now, I guess it depends on who wins the election. Of course, they're going to give federal funds this close to election. They're not going to say no and be like, you didn't give people money during the COOF. Well, I mean, it's great that we're just printing money But the adults in the room have to figure out that this comes at a cost later down the road. And this cost is going to be catastrophic if we keep doing it. So hopefully our president tells the states that they got to figure this out on their own, because that's the way it's supposed to be. There are people who deserve assistance and should get it, absolutely, because they were shut down, especially if the federal government shuts you down, then yeah, the federal should pay the money. If the state shuts you down, the state. But the thing is, that's us. That's us. And then we need to start, it's going to get to a point where we're going to decide who's essential. First, it was who's essential to be open. Now it's going to be in the future, I promise you, who's essential that we give money to. And that's where the real trouble starts. Because if you see Hollywood considered essential over any small business, we're already seeing, Walmart did great, Target did great. And listen, I'm glad these places are open, honestly. But the small business got the short end of the stick on this big time. And there's nothing to help them. There was PPP money, but that's it. And small business owners can't sit around and wait for Gavin Newsom to come in and save them. Most of us aren't. We'll figure this out on our own. All we wanted was the opportunity to make our own money, not take any from the state. And honestly, I know who we should be asking all the money from. It's not a hint. It's not a federal agency, and it's not in this country, but it's across the Pacific. Disney likes to do a lot of business with them. Disney's in a lot of trouble. And while I feel bad for the individual employee, I certainly do. You got to think about who you support. That was my big wake up call. A political person. I remain independent, but that gives me the freedom to decide who the hell I want to vote for, whenever the hell I want, for whatever issue I want, and I don't have to. I'm not loyal to some party. It's ridiculous. And there is no party for me anyway. And I think there's a lot of people out there who feel that way as well. But it's very clear that this state here has been run into the ground for decades by one party. And this party keeps getting reelected, and it will continue to get reelected. And if you just, at this point, you don't have a right to complain. You don't. I tried, my vote was purely symbolic, but I tried to vote for change. I tried to vote down any tax hike that was ridiculous. We have a tax hike every damn year, and it's always for the schools. And we just throw money at the schools, and these kids can't read. These kids can't read because teachers, in a lot of cases, and I mean a lot. Now I'm judging from the local San Francisco public school system, are hyper political. Some of them are very good with the kids. Some of them are not. Some of them just didn't want to leave school. So, I'm in the process of pulling my kid out of this school system completely. We've got some options, thankfully, but we're writing this year off. I don't know if he's going to have to repeat a grade, or I hope not, but, what are you going to do? And there's a lot of parents in the same position. But, Disney, these big corporations are deciding our future now. And it's biting them in the ass. And good. Fucking good. So we have a lawsuit going towards Google and YouTube that is an antitrust lawsuit. Unfortunately, it's only brought by 9 states, and they're all red states. We need bipartisan on this for it to happen, to break up. I think I remember when I was young, but I remember when Bell got broken up. And I don't see Google any different, or Alphabet any different than Bell. And with their arrogance, and I mentioned this yesterday, there is a documentary on Netflix called The Social Dilemma. And in that documentary, there are former employees who say, yeah, we can sway elections whenever we want. Boom. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. And especially when we have some of the people who are in charge, the culture in Silicon Valley, maybe somebody will do a documentary. Maybe we'll have some journalist out there with integrity who will go out there and expose what is going on there. I mean, beyond the sheer debauchery. I mean, I know Joe Rogan loves this, but I mean, we got microdosing LSD now as a regular thing. I don't know. I never microdosed LSD. I macrodosed my LSD. People deciding our future are microdosing LSD. They're cranking it on Zoom meetings. Yes, that guy from CNN. I mean, it's all being exposed. And these are the people who are in charge of us right now. That's a problem. So would I like to see them broken up? It's probably going to affect me adversely. But if it gets people like Medicare back here, if we get true free speech on this platform, like I said yesterday, it's worth the hit. It's worth the hit if I know I can say, I don't have to speak in YouTube speak, and we can freely say whatever we want, call out, things like that film on Netflix and not have to worry about it. And I think it would inspire more people to come on. Now, people are coming on, and that's good. Here's the downside. So, on a super chat here, it was said that the antitrust basically is gonna be good. When the government gets involved, if the government just broke Google up and YouTube was able to independently support itself, sure, that's not going to happen though. It's just not. It should have been broken up. I agree with the quartering in 2016. It's very large now. And I think what Google will try to say is YouTube can't survive on its own, which is complete bullshit. Utter bullshit. Complete bullshit. But I want, we need this to happen. We need this to happen. Despite what's going to happen to me, for the good of the country, we need this to happen because it is the public square. Twitter is the public square. Google, is the public square. They are suppressing, forget the politics. They're suppressing ads. They're suppressing businesses who don't pay. It's the same shit Yelp was doing, by the way. Fuck Yelp. And I think Google might be the first step. But what would I like to happen? I mean, this isn't going to happen. I would like for Google to police itself. I would like us as adults to police ourselves and allow whatever speech. And we can decide what's bad or good. And if it's bad, we can expose it. A lot of people can expose, if some a-hole wants to get all, ist on, we can clown that dude into oblivion, or woman. Don't want to be sexist. Women can be racist too. So I would like that to happen before the government gets involved, because when the government gets involved, we get more laws, we get more rules, we get more restrictions. And believe me, they're going to want a piece of this ad pie. And that's going to discourage a lot on this platform. So could it destroy the platform? Yes, it could. But we'll see. This is a process that's going to take years, and hopefully it is done and followed through with. And we'll see. We'll see if this leads Google to change its ways, or does it just lawyer up and tries to beat the government. And well, shit, Google's a big company. It might be able to. I don't know. But the fact that it resides in California is going to protect it. And Right now, again, the Democratic Party is the party of the billionaires and millionaires. It's the party of Silicon Valley, and they are protected, just like Hollywood is protective. They screwed over, we saw Nasr Abdin get screwed over. We all saw it, and it's because he got outspent by CBS. And we see, Kurtzman rip off other things, and people get ripped off all the time in Hollywood, and they get away with it because they can outspend people, and they also have all the politicians in their pocket so they can make the rules. The copyright rules that are more favorable to the big corporations. Phoenix Tangent for $5. Twitter has done nothing for discourse and has become vitriolic. The tweets directed at Chris Pratt and Zoe Saldana are demonstrative of the vitriol. They are absolutely, Phoenix Tangent, you are correct. They are disgusting. As disgusting as they are, I don't want them taken down at all. I want them, this exposes this shit. Venom Snake for $7.99 Australian. Question for the chat. Gary, if Biden is supposedly less popular than Trump now, how come tweets get twice the amount of likes as Trump? Says Venom Snake. Okay, so question for the chat and Gary. If Biden is supposedly less popular than Trump, how come his tweets get twice as the amount of likes as Trump? Twitter is Biden's playground. I would say that most people who support Biden are on Twitter. And I wouldn't put it past Twitter to inflate that number. Now, I don't know. He might be more, I'm guessing he's more popular than Trump on Twitter, for sure. I guess it depends on the platform, but Venom Snake, Twitter does not represent this country. It doesn't even come close to representing this country in any way, shape, or form. There are countless examples of that. We're talking about Chris Pratt. It's trending number one. The vast majority of this country has no idea this is happening. And guess what? There's an even larger number who doesn't even know who Chris Pratt is. It's a pretty big country. So yeah, please don't judge it through Twitter. Thanks for the $7.99. Epic Night of Knee Surnite. Oh, Knee Surnite for $5. Hail, you inspired me to start my own YouTube channel. It's called Epic Night of Knee. Excellent. See, be inspired. That's all. That's what I do. I get inspired by people. I don't get petty jealousy is no way to live. I used to live like that. It's poison. It's poison. Rich Suddy for 20 pounds. Twitter is a trash pit. And to think those going after Chris Pratt and those folks who spoke out in support of him are the grade A donkeys who slammed the Fandom Menace. Who are the toxic ones? Hail. Exactly. Exactly. That the Fandom Menace has been saying this for years, and none of us en masse anyway. Sure, there's an outlier out there, and I can't control what other individuals do, but I've never said I don't want anybody to exist. All I've said is we need you to get to be neutral again. Nobody said I want a bunch of right-wing politics in my show. I said I wanted less politics in some of my shows, not all of them. Talking about Star Wars, Doctor Who, Star Trek, that used to be for everyone, and they're not. And this argument is so over at this point because it's right there in front of us. Star Trek used to appeal to everyone, and it doesn't now. It tries to appeal to a specific sect of fandom that doesn't really buy anything and doesn't care. Venom Snake for $2.99 Australian once again says Biden has a tweet with 1.2 million likes. That's outstanding for Biden. That doesn't affect me though, and I wouldn't judge the election by tweets. I remember in 2016 the polls were heavily in favor of Hillary Clinton, and she lost. She lost. And her tweets were getting more likes than Trump's back then as well. Again, do not judge reality through Twitter. I wouldn't recommend it. Man of War 665, Neighbor of the Beast for $5. Gary, your governor sure has a purty mouth. Squeal, boy, squeal. He does, doesn't he? Yep. Venom Snake for $2.99 says they're going to round up the Christians. Well, didn't they say that in one of those tweets? I think they did, right? They did. Here, I'll show you where they said it. Oh, that's the latest one. Sorry, give me a moment. I'll be right there. Oh, which one is it? FU. FU. Be quiet, don't speak. The church is anti-alphabet. Oh my God, these are blue check marks too. Not political isn't an option right now, says Adam Ellis. Not political is not an option right now. Oh, really? Says who? You? Blue check mark? Moby Dickhead? Yeah, that's appropriate, dude. That's appropriate. Oh, shoot. Hang on. I think it said kill all the Christians. Yeah, right there. K-word all Christians. I read it earlier. So I'm not saying they're going to round them up, but I mean, the sentiment is there and it's being allowed. And last time I checked, that tweet was still up. But thank you. Question for the chat, Gary. How badly are we losing the culture war? Is it 50-50? It feels 25-75 as us being the 25, says Venom Snake for $7.99 Australia. It would. I mean, like, we're not winning it on Twitter. And as far as society, though, big difference. You see, people who have common sense don't go on Twitter and stay there very long. It's not a platform that grows. It's pretty stagnant as a platform. So it's not growing. I don't know how Facebook is doing these days. I know it's stagnated for a little while. But no, I think what's going to happen out of this is people might give up on social media. I think there'll be a day that'll happen that might come in vogue. We'll see. And we get a new form or it just gets worse. I am not Nerdstradamus. I cannot predict the future. But as far as the culture war is going, we were making, and not the culture war that Kripke is talking about, bringing in some other Reich or anything. I'm talking about just regular folks, you and me, President Abu Nas, Fatal J, Drunk 3PO, author Stephen Walton, yours truly, Anna, that Star Wars girl, Mecca, people, their own individual opinions and voices. I don't agree with everybody. I'm sure they don't agree with me, but we just want entertainment to be fun again, and we want to get along again. I don't know if that desire is there right now, to be honest with you. I don't want to see a civil war with my kid living here. I don't want society to break down, and we fight it here because that's where the information is. Now that's not going to happen, by the way, so don't worry. We are seeing it bad now because it's all being paid for. Once the election is over, that money will dry up. Remember, this was happening to a much smaller extent last time around, and then it stopped because the money dries up and they focus their efforts on other things. I hope we investigate the terrorist organization that is leading insurrections in this country, though. I do. I certainly do. So, but no, we're losing right now because of the rioting and looting, and Hollywood decided to revisit 2016 to bend the knee and placate the rioters and looters because that's what they're afraid of. They don't really give a shit about your cause. They never gave a shit about their cause because they don't give a shit about anything except themselves. So they were scared to death from the rioting and looting, and they are still scared to death. Look at the NFL, for Christ's sake. The NFL. You know who watches the NFL for the most part? You know, as far as entertainment is concerned, it's turning into it is unfortunately kind of just a left only thing, which sucks. I don't want anything to be left or right only. But maybe that's where we're headed. That's not going to make things better. But as far as, I think we took a giant step back over the summer. Huge step back over the summer. And we were making progress. So what do? Do we give up? No. Hell no. I mean, do you believe in this stuff? No fight is easy. Nothing's easy. Like leaving California. I mean, we could have fucking stayed in San Francisco and probably ridden it out. You know, but I enjoy my freedom. I don't want to, I cannot have my tax dollars going to idiots like that anymore. I'm done. I didn't even get to all the stupid shit from San Francisco. I had a whole list. The original video was like 25 minutes long, right? And I brought up things like, pet ownership is illegal in San Francisco. You are a dog guardian. You cannot vape in San Francisco. You cannot call the police for anything under $1,000 if it's stolen. Even if something's like minorly violent, they'll still have you report something online, and they may or may not show up. Now, I know a trick to get cops to your house immediately if there's trouble, but you don't know. And then there's the loss of confidence in the police department, and the school systems are bad, and everything piled up, right? So when they shut my wife's business down, we're like, okay, like this isn't even worth it. So, and I wasn't enjoying any of the quote unquote amenities of San Francisco. I don't like big cities. I don't like living there. They're cool. And maybe if I was like in my 20s, I'd like it, but no, I want to live in the fucking country now. But I digress. We need to keep fighting for common sense because it is out of whack. And what I said yesterday, I didn't miss any memo that things have gotten better in entertainment. Like all of a sudden entertainment's good. There's no need for the hashtag Fandom Menace anymore. We can file it away, thank it for its work, and move on. Some people will say good riddance. Like, that's fine too. No. It's actually gotten worse. So there's some people who have, just said enough, black-pilled it and gone. And there's certain things I've said enough with and I'm done with. And there's certain things I'm not. Paul from Norway says, start the effing show, dude, for 50 Norwegian krona. Well, I did. I listened to you. And thank you for the 50 Norwegian krona. Butter biscuit, 92 for $2. Slow down. I can't keep up with all your content. LOL. Dude, I don't put out a lot of content. Are you kidding me? I live stream a lot, but I've only put out 3 videos this month. I'm working on one. It's going to be on this subject. We're going to, but then, the Picard review has got to get finished because I'm like all backed up on my reviews right now. I've got to do The Boys, and I'm going to go ahead and do Umbrella Academy. I'm going to follow through with that. And then, Mandalorian pops up, and then we have, The Expanse. Who knows when the Snyder Cut's coming out? Early next year, maybe? Quite frankly, that's the one thing I'm looking forward to the most. I'm not kidding. The Snyder Cut. Yeah, 2020 is weird, man. John Wesley, remember when Ruffalo tweeted that cringe tweet about the VP debates saying how Pence used his whiteness to talk over Kamala Harris? The left eats its own. It certainly does. And yes, AOC was on a stream with what's her face? The one who tried to cancel It's a Gundam. Pokimane. I know nothing about Twitch. So maybe I should stream over there. I don't know. I don't have the thighs for it. I might, though. But I'd have to shave them. Yeah, Pokemon. By the way, It's a Gundam. Fucking international treasure. Another one. Memology. It's a Gundam. I've been killing it lately. Killing it. Salty Crackers out there. Killing it. And, you know, he's somebody who was watching us forever. It's great seeing him blow up. Josiah Rises. That's awesome what he's been doing. I love Josiah. Jeremy's been... Jeremy. Oh, by the way, that's another thing I wanted to mention. Jeremy... I don't know how much I want to say. So the reason I was talking about the Fandom Menace is I went a couple days ago. I just checked out like what people were, the hate videos we were getting. That Umbrella guy said he did it and it got in my mind. I'm going to do it too. So I went and checked in. Some of the shit was funny, but there was some guys on a stream talking about Jeremy's money, like counting the man's money, straight up. Counting the man's money, which, I mean, I guess you have every right to do. And talking about the fall of geeks and gamers. And I started laughing. Geeks and Gamers had its most successful month last month. Ever. The organization of Geeks and Gamers, which is multiple channels, a website, a Twitch channel, most successful month they've ever had. So, yeah, I don't think it's falling anytime soon. Mark C for $5. Ruffalo and Gunn post political venom multiple times a day, every day. They helped to create this monster, and now it comes for them. Yep. So I have no sympathy for them. It's good that they backed up their boy. I don't know how genuine that was. You know what? I'm guessing they probably get along with Chris. He seems like a perfectly nice guy. Maybe he doesn't get political. But for little blue check marks and these fucking dweebs on Twitter to go, you don't get to not pick a side. No, you don't get to tell me shit, bitch. Get fucked. Nerd Cookies, thank you for the super sticker and the $2. Go check out Nerd Cookies channel again. It's a good channel. Culture Casino, who recently hit 1,000 subs. Thank you for the phallic unicorn for $1.49. Yeah, Lorena Creel just hit 1,000 subs too. That's brilliant. Proud of her, and she's going to keep it, and I know it. Rich Suddy for $5. Also can't spell when I'm tired. I can't spell when I'm not tired. Don't worry about it, Rich. Josiah Rises also made a good point. Chris Evans hadn't said anything in Chris Pratt's defense. Oh, no, of course not. Chris Evans is, well, I don't know. Yeah, Chris Evans is probably the worst of them as far as the crazy SJW leftists go. I think Chris Evans is actually farther out there than Mark Ruffalo, in my opinion. But this is why I don't follow celebs on Twitter. I am aware that James Gunn, what he was saying before he got busted, I didn't go back since then. No time limit. Stream right through Star Trek Discovery, says Bird of Prey 5 for $2. I might. No, I ain't staying up late to watch that shit. It is not worth losing a minute of sleep over. So I'm going to review it tomorrow morning. Show's trash. How's Michael doing? Bird of Prey 5. Michael Crawford, the anti-tracker. He seems like he's having a hard time over there, man. Hope he's doing okay. Mexican Iron Man for $19.99. My emperor sold my place in California, and I close escrow in South Carolina in late November. I'll be out of California by December 1st. To hell with California and screw the state, and hail. Let the exodus continue. Oh, great one. Thank you for your wisdom. I am not great. Thank you, Mexican Iron Man. You are great. Thank you for the $19.99. I don't know. You guys be the judge. Yeah, I haven't even I don't know if we can sell our house. I guess we can. There are people buying up. Guess what? Guess what's happening? Rich people are coming in and buying up all the property in San Francisco. Big surprise. I think absolutely everyone called this. That, yep, big companies, investment companies are swooping on in and buying all the property. And then there's some investor asshole who is on this channel's like said, I was crazy for leaving. There's investment opportunities in California. I'm not a fucking investor, dude. I need to invest in my child. My child isn't going to fucking learn shit here. And I'm not going to live a great investment opportunity. What company is going to stick around that's going to have the state dictate its board? And you already have the state invading small business, requiring them to file equal pay reports. There's an Equal Pay Act. There's a law that they have to abide. You're this redundancy shit. We're double, triple checking things we already have laws for. Yeah. I tried to tell people, do not vote for Gavin Newsom for fucking governor. I tried. I said he was a nightmare as a San Francisco. Best way to never vote in somebody to office. If they're insanely popular in San Francisco, do not vote that politician in anywhere else. What works for San Francisco works for San Francisco. By the way, San Francisco works because of capitalism. San Francisco works because of capitalism. It is one of the most capitalist fucking cities on the planet. None of that shit works without Silicon Valley being there and the tourism industry and the small business. Fucking capitalism. All those social programs paid for by capitalism. Taxing the small business owner, taxing the homeowner. The renters, you don't pay that much tax. When I was renting, I didn't pay that much tax. When I was making $30,000 a year, I didn't pay that much tax. Now, I'm not in any kind of a rich bracket. But shit. And this is just to show you how much it went up. Property tax is property tax. It's an absolute, there's nothing I can do about it. I think it's theft, but we use an impound account. I highly recommend that if you're buying a house for the first time, get an impound account. That way the mortgage company takes out an estimated amount of tax for each payment, so you don't have to pay this lump sum every quarter or whatever it is. My impound account went up $200 like magically. It's never done that, but it's because of the local taxes I was paying, because we pay for free college now in San Francisco. Yes, city college is free. Nobody can go, but we're still paying for it. And it's the magic money tree that makes everything. And these things happen because of our politicians and our social programs. No, politicians prevent economies. They do not create them, and they glom off them and they siphon off them. And you know what? If some of that stuff does good, great. The problem is, we have like 1,000 homelessness programs and none of them work. We're not doing anything about the mental illness. We're saying we are, but what's generally happening is you tax the population more, you fill the government coffers, and all of a sudden local politicians have mansions magically, and the mentally ill are still walking the street, or the drug addicted are still walking the street. By the way, can't really practice recovery right now in this state. I don't know I think the rehabs are open. Not entirely sure how much good they do, but my view on rehabs is this. They have to be long. You have to go there for 6 months minimum. You can't go to a 30-day rehab. It'll be a good starter, right? So you'll get some recovery, and hell, it might work. But I think it works for less than 8% of the people who go there. And we're just going to AA meetings. It's like 13% or something. It's a very low percentage. Shit doesn't stick. People need to want it, and it's hard. It's fucking very difficult. But, yeah, so they're filling their coffers, doing what politicians do, and they're fine. Gavin Newsom's not missing any work. You know, I mentioned this in my video, and I saw the reaction to it. So I'm glad you guys got good and pissed, because Gavin Newsom sent his staff to Disney World for a week or for a few days to research what they were doing over there. Not ride the rides, I'm sure. I'm sure it was done all in research. And then they just shut Disneyland down. By the way, the timetable for most of this stuff, and I mentioned this yesterday, is March, basically spring, when they're going to maybe, when our new normal starts. What happens in late February, mid-February, late February? President gets sworn in. I'm sure it's just a coincidence, though. Thank you, Mexican Iron Man. And you are the inspiration of the title of my biography, Crisis in Infinite Tijuanas. Douglas Fantauzi, thank you for the $9.99. Bless you. Bless you. By the way, we are approaching 300,000 subscribers. That's fucking crazy. Unless unless I say something incredibly stupid. Well, I've already said a bunch of incredibly stupid stuff. And I've survived this long. It looks like it might happen today. So thank you. There will be announcements. There was big changes. I don't want to call them changes. You're going to get more of the same, but they'll be a little different. Does that make any sense? I hope not. I'm getting a new banner because I don't want to have San Francisco in my banner anymore. These poor guys. I got to pick somebody. I'm going to do we're going to do a clip channel. So I need to decide who's going to help, or maybe we'll get multiple people to do it. I don't know, but I'm going to make a clip since I live stream so much, and especially with Friday Night Tights, I'm going to do a clip channel. And then the rest is a surprise. Keep up the resistance against the foolish narcissist. Hollywood soon will be finished, says the Zardoz for $20. Hail to you, my friend. And Gavin Newsom, like Cuomo, Newsom, de Blasio, they're in danger of not being reelected, by the way, YouTube Mama Susan, of not being reelected, because even like I'm seeing hardcore liberals call their shit out now. Bob Iger just turned on the guy here in Newsom here in California. I saw Joe Rogan and Colin Quinn, did comedy at Obama fundraisers. He's called de Blasio a complete fucking idiot. Yeah. So like these mayors are going to be done. And it is real. I'm going to say this again, really, really important. I'll use my I statements again, that I pay attention wherever I go. I need to know everything about everybody that I'm going to vote for. I've got my booklet right here. Where is it? There it is. I can't reach it right now. Our voter booklet, which is some of the, some really good fiction. But I will keep up. I'm going to keep talking about this. I'm a little pissed about it. A little pissed having to move. I loved it here. I did. I mean, like, it is October 21st. It was 75 today? 77 degrees today. It was 77 yesterday. It'll probably be 70 to 69 degrees for the rest of the year. San Diego's great. It doesn't have these fucking problems. There is a slight homelessness problem here. There's crime in certain areas, but like it is nowhere. It doesn't have the murders San Francisco or Oakland or LA has. It doesn't have the crime. It's generally really clean. I guess, I mean, like the one thing you can knock it for is it's pretty spread out, but I like that. But yeah, like people in San Francisco is like, well, we have better public transportation. I'm like, oh, great. We have better roads. I can drive somewhere on my own. F public transportation. I mean, if you got to take it, great, but it wasn't great in San Francisco. You know who's got good public transportation? Well, at least it did back in 2004 when I was there. London. Jagerbomb. I'm in San Diego to ever swing. I'm in San Diego too. Ever swing by Point Loma? Let me know. Liberty Station is awesome. Is San Diego the only same place left in California? I think so. I mean, I don't know. Like Fresno's going through a huge crime wave right now. So is Bakersfield. But like Palm Springs is brilliant. I might spend a weekend over there. I'm thinking about doing a San Diego meetup before we go to Vegas. I got to talk to Ryan because like if we can rent out a movie theater for $100, well, shit, let's do it. Terrible Fire. Welcome to the proto-molecule level. I appreciate you. What is your favorite 70s Marvel run and DC? 70s? 70s. Jim Starlin's Warlock. Jim Starlin's Warlock or Jim Starlin's Captain Marvel. It's one of those two. Venom Snake for 2 Australian says Biden will win. We are the vocal minority now. Venom Snake sounds like he's black pilled a little bit. That's too bad. No, we're not. Common sense is not the vocal minority. Just because Hollywood and Silicon Valley, this sounds. Listen, go watch the after you're done watching me. Go watch the Tim Pool Joe Rogan interview. Tim Pool explains it perfectly. This all sounds amplified because Silicon Valley wants it to be amplified. Do I think? I don't give a shit about a Biden tweet. That's not going to tell you shit about the election. Venom Snake, you're in Australia. Let me give you a little history on Biden. He's run for president before, and he's never, ever made it out to the primary because he's a joke. He's terrible. He's been in government for 47 years and has done nothing but be a politician. Listen, having 2 old guys run right now isn't great. And, they don't need to be young, but the Democratic Party needs to refine its identity and stop supporting leftist terror organizations because that's where that shit completely loses me. You completely lose me when you start pushing the white supremacy narrative, a Marxist narrative. So you notice they've been quiet on that lately because before Kamala Harris was rooting on the rioting and looting, and yes, she was. Absolutely was. So you might be in Australia, though. I don't know. You guys are locked down like motherfuckers over there. Nerd Cookies, thank you for the $2. RDJ was also there for Mel Gibson. Good guy, RDJ. Yes, he is. He's in recovery. Of course he is. But yeah, Venom Snake, cheer up, Bucker. It's going to be okay, man. Presidents, as I told my son last night, presidents come and presidents go. This is not the best time I've ever seen, but this isn't the worst summer I've ever had. It isn't the worst year I've ever had. And I'm sure there's people out there who's had much worse years. So yeah, buck up, camper. Listen, if you lose this one, you live to fight another day. That's all. Don't think we're losing this one unless there's outright shenanigans, though. And I'm saying that pretty objectively. I don't think so unless there's shenanigans. Is there a lot of people who don't like the president? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Is there a silent president supporter out there? Yes, there was last time. It's short memories we have in America. Short memories. Protege Music for $10. I have friends, longtime friends, who have attacked me, not even knowing Biden himself tried to stop desegregation of schools. SHW needs to stop. Yeah, Biden was probably around during desegregation schools. I don't know that. I know of him of a politician, and he's been around my entire life. By the way, he got in office when I was 3. So, yeah, I don't want people attacking people over their politics, though, for Christ's sake. See, the thing is, once the president won, whether you liked him or not, he was the president, and you would think people would move on, but they didn't, and Hollywood didn't, and Silicon Valley didn't. And what you did was you set a precedent for the other side to do the same thing now. And it degrades. I love Mexican Iron Man, says Flamethrower Candle for $2. I do too. He's brilliant. And he got out of California faster than I did. But yeah, I don't know where I want to go yet. $50 from Scott Wiggins. Knocking him dead, Gary. You are the new format for talk shows. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Mark Ruffalo got the J.K. Rowling treatment for $2, says Miranda Sinastra. Yes, she did. And Mark Ruffalo, he'll bend the knee and say sorry eventually. Terrible Fire, welcome to the Protomolecule level, 200-watt studio for $2. Thank you again. And yeah, I answered that. I just didn't say your name. So I have friends, longtime friends, who attacked me, not even knowing Biden himself tried to stop desegregation of schools. Desegregation of schools. I can't remember. I mean, like, were schools segregated in the early 70s when he entered office? I don't know. I don't know why did they attack you though? I don't know the context of that. Let me know. I love Mexican Iron Man, says Flamethrower Candle for $2. I read that one already. Wheel of Morality. Turn. Tell us the lesson we should learn. Don't put politics in media unless you're being true bipartisan. The trailer for the Animaniacs is going Hollywood left, says Joey Bryant for $10. That's too bad. I'll watch the trailer. But that's too bad. Yeah. Well, it's not reading the news now. It's all editorial pieces. And before anybody claps back, I don't report the news. That's not what I do. I just like talk radio. I just talk. Did you see AOZ streaming with Twitch? ALO. I watched Ask Venom Snake for $2.99 Australian. Wow, Venom Snake is at it today. I watched It's a Gundam's video, which was all I needed to see. Thank you. Mikey Gussler for $10. Bounding into comics and Hollywood Reporter reported Jared Leto is on the set of Zack Snyder's Justice League and Joker, and Culture Nerd reported Ben Affleck is signed on to multiple films and his own Batman series. That is good. That is good. I was going to read that article in a little bit, so I'll get to that. Back to that, Mikey Gussler. Thank you. The Backbencher for $4.99. Can you fix this laptop? I'll be right back. I have a meeting in the Ukraine. Yes. Just leave it here. I got to take. I won't take it to the FBI. Douglas Nelson for $5. If Leto's Joker is the price to pay for getting Ben Affleck back, is it worth it? Well, look at it this way. Maybe they'll change the look and have it be more Joker. So if they change the look, maybe, just maybe, just maybe. Got 2,007 likes. Bless you all. All right. Let me see if I can find. Oh, yeah. We got to talk about Karen. Oh, it's not here. Oh, that's why, because I saw it trending on Twitter. That's why. Give me just a moment. Yeah. San Francisco supervisors unanimously passed the Karen Act, a new law that makes racially motivated phone calls to 911 illegal. Well, all right. First off, I am against racially motivated phone calls to 911. Absolutely. But I got a question. I have a question. Let's read this a little bit, but I got one question. San Francisco's Board of Supervisors unanimously passed the Caution Against Racial and Exploitative Non-Emergencies Karen Act, a new law that makes it illegal for someone to call 911 with a false racist complaint. 911 calls are not customer services for people's racism. Shaman Walton, a member of the board, tweeted. I'm going to... No. I wish I had the clown horn. So, why pass a law like this? Well, they passed a law like this to make it look like there's rampant racism going on. Now, there's always been racism and sexism and all kinds of isms. And there always will be. It's gotten better over the years. I'd say it's gotten worse recently, but in the reverse direction, like much worse. We are still a long way from being truly egalitarian, but we're not going to get there overnight. And if we start over, if Marxism wins tomorrow, is the racism going to go away? I don't think so. Will it be the same as it ever was? Well, I mean, we'll all be poor, but the people in power will still be in power, and it'll lead to tyranny, dictatorship, like it always does. Yeah. So this just helps push a narrative. San Francisco does this. They govern by virtue. Are people calling and saying, I'll use a white guy. There's a white guy standing next to me. Call the police. I mean, like, there was that one, is this all because they caught that one time on video and it went viral? Are we getting a law for one thing now? Even if it's 2, even if it's 5, that's ridiculous. But the Board of Supervisors needs to justify their existence because I'm really glad you passed the Karen Act when 54% of your small businesses have closed. Stunning and motherfucking brave, San Francisco, you dumb shits. The clowns in San Francisco will vote them all back in. So yeah, San Francisco Board of Supervisors unanimously voted on that. So I have a question. What happens if, I don't want to insinuate anything. Okay. I myself have been a criminal, so I'm not judging here. But say a not white person is breaking into your house and they ask you to describe this person. What are you going to say? Are you going to have in the back of your head, oh shit, if I describe this person, are they going to arrest me for making a call? Is this going to deter people from making 911 calls? So here's my question. Is this going to save lives or cost us lives? Is this going to save lives? Because that's what 911 is for. I'm sorry, 911's not the customer service for your racism. No, it isn't. It's also not there for people to complain about a bad order of food or whatever. So this is meaningless, but it actually could cost lives. Now, how many racially motivated 911 calls do we get? Do we get like some data? Let's go to the San Francisco Chronicle and see if we get some data on this. I'm looking for, I'm not going to fucking subscribe. Just fuck off. No. Let's go. All right. So all right. Over this tumultuous summer, a piece of legislation out of San Francisco made national headlines, the Karen Act. On Tuesday, the city's Board of Supervisors unanimously voted on the clever acronym, which stands for Caution Against Racially Exploitive Non-Emergencies, getting in one step closer to becoming a reality. It is a reality now. A second vote on the act by the full board is scheduled for Tuesday, October 27th. Okay, by the way, that's the day. Keep in mind, October 27th is the day the new Warriors comes out with Snowflake and Safe Space. If the vote is successful, it would become law in 30 days after being signed by Mayor London Breed, if she decides to do so. Introduced in July by District 10 Supervisor Shaman Walton, the hate crime legislation is designated to prevent racially motivated 911 calls like the ones that have been commonly documented on news and social media. Okay, I'm going to click to this link. So this one Karen, right? Okay, commonly documented. This is one case. This is one fucking case. So documented on news and social media. Like, okay, to prevent racially motivated 911 calls, like the ones that have been commonly documented. It was one, singular. The white weaponizing of 911, often against communities of color, hit home in the Bay Area in June when a video of a Pacific Heights confrontation went viral. So we got two. Communities of color have the right to go about their daily activities without being threatened by somebody calling 911 on them due to someone's racism. I should say that. Okay. I'm going to click on this one. Okay. A woman apologized after backlash from confronting San Francisco homeowner over Black Lives Matter. A CEO of a cosmetic company issued an apology Sunday after a video was widely shared online showing her and her husband confronting a man and threatening to call the police because he stenciled Black Lives Matter in chalk on his San Francisco property. The video, which has been tweeted 155,000 times. So did he put it on his own property? Yeah, they shouldn't have said shit. If he wanted to put it on his own property, whatever. Who gives a fuck? Oh my God, she bent the knee. So, okay. So there's two cases, and they called the police for him stenciling BLM. Yeah. So we have two. So I guess we need a law. Two things happen. So I think we need an entire law. But there's a problem. There's a big problem. 54% of all businesses have closed in San Francisco. So I don't think you'll have as many 911 calls because you won't have as many police because you won't have as many people, but you will have more crime. Again, if a woman is alone and a man is breaking in, and if she is afraid for even a second, if she hesitates, you got to describe this man, dead. But thank God, by the way, two rich people had an argument in that second one. But hey, this is this guy doing his job, the creator of the Karen Act. How about getting a small business act? Nah, that's funny. I know that won't happen. Fucking stupid shit. If Leto's joke, okay, I read that one. Not shock. No shock. Not shocked that not shocked that the degenerate Tubin was watching cuties. I had to fix that one a little bit. 200 watt studio for $2. Thank you. Oh, I know that's a joke. We don't know if Tubin was actually watching cuties, but you never know. Justin Gould for $10. Nerdrotic Nooner stream is the best place to spend my birthday. Oh, great. Thanks for all the awesome content over the years. You are welcome. You are most welcome. The Grizzly for $10. Will this kind of behavior toward people like Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Pratt, will it hurt the left in the election and sway people towards Trump, or at least wake a few people up out of this behavior, says Grizzly. It always looks bad. Yes, this is a bad look for everyone. It's a bad look for Hollywood. It's a bad look for Trump, and it's a bad look for Twitter. Every time shit like this happens, it's good for them in the short run. It gets them some clicks. But overall, it turns more people off every day. The thing I talked about with Star Wars and Star Trek and everything else. And this is something I learned through owning a business, is the customer you lose who doesn't say a word. He just leaves. And one day you go, I haven't seen so-and-so in the shop in a long time. And I don't know if it's something I did. I don't know if it was something Marvel Comics did or DC. I don't know, because he didn't say anything. He just left. Now, he could have just moved, but no, more cases are not. It's people leaving, and we are in uncharted territory now. Hollywood will not be the Hollywood we knew last year. That one is gone. Jobs will dry up. So what's going on right now with Hollywood, what's propping it up? Streaming and investment. The streaming wars are just starting, and they are fucking lucky they were going on right now. So you have lots of investment dollars that are propping things up. For example, the Access Media, for the most part, was propped up by investor dollars. Most websites don't make shit. And once the investment money dries up, they go away. Same thing will happen with streaming. So there will be the survivors. There will be Amazon, Netflix. I don't know after that. I honestly don't know. Apple, although nobody's watching their streaming service. But there'll be less work because those things will dry up. And believe me, if we're locked down in California until March, irreversible damage to Hollywood, irreversible damage to movie theaters. Hollywood itself will still be around. Robert Downey Jr. will be fine. So will Chris Evans and Bob Iger. But it'd be very questionable for actors who are on their last leg or people who are just starting out. People are going to want to go more into the independent sphere. Quite frankly, it's a lot easier to go out on your own these days. People will always want entertainment. Always. It doesn't have to come from Hollywood. They'll still be the kings and the big shots for a long time. Long time. but the beginning of a great transition that could be their end. Yes, absolutely. Theaters, again, will not bounce back from this at all. There'll still be some around, of course. And maybe Hollywood will come and bail them out. Because even a federal bailout is limited. Eric Steller for $20 saw that CBS did to Shatner. Saw what CBS did to Shatner, was spiteful, disrespectful to a legend. I ordered his documentary today. Good, Eric Steller. Yeah, fuck CBS's petty corporation. One that I would not be sorry to see go at all. Sorry, my phone was jumping off. Oh, shit. Hang on. Hang on a second. All right. Done. Tone Tester Tree for $5. Hail, any chance for a Texas meetup near Austin? I don't know if I want to stop near Austin. Maybe. And like the outskirts. Yeah, because I'm not even looking in Austin. I'm not, but yeah. I'll let you know. Saw what CBS, by the way, thanks Eric Steller and Tonester Tree. Thank you for the $5. Modalicious for $2. The Useless moved from Fight Club to Twitter. Yeah, but I like Fight Club. The Useless. No, because Fight Club was filled with kind of, it's a different thing, Modalicious. I completely disagree with that. Fight Club is kind of what's going on right now. But I love you, Modalicious. David Gagnon for 2 Canadian pesos. Thank you very much. I mean, Fight Club, they felt useless, but they weren't useless. Twitter they are. And I'm talking about the SJWs and the NPCs. They are useless right now. And they need to make them see, it's up to them to give their lives meaning, and it's up to them to take responsibility and make something happen. It is an entire generation expecting shit to be just handed to them. There's, maybe someday there'll be a universal basic income. It won't be enough. And they actually deal with that in The Expanse. Not enough, to be honest with you. It was a good concept that they didn't follow through with all the way. But yeah. Fear of FEMA for $5. F for James Randi, who passed away today. If you are going to be a skeptic, you might as well be a James Randi style skeptic. James Randi, hang on. Oh, he's the co-founder of the Committee for Skeptical Inquiry, originally known as the Committee for the Scientific Investigation of Claims of the Paranormal. Yeah, basically a fucking Debbie Downer. I mean, I'm sorry he's dead. He lived to be 92, but fuck skeptics, man. Sorry. It's okay if you don't believe something. I mean, you don't have to believe in UFOs and stuff, but to outwardly go out there and, I feel like listen, as an agnostic and a former atheist, even when I was practicing my non-belief, I wasn't shouting it to the four winds. I don't believe in God. Who gives a shit? Let people do their thing. So yeah, I don't like skeptics very much. Let people dream, let them have their fantasies as long as they're not dangerous, Now, some of them are funny. I can't say I hate them all. I like Penn and Teller. I like Penn and Teller a lot. So Mark Ruffalo got the J.K. Rowling treatment. Yes, he did, Miranda Sinastra, and I read that one earlier. Thank you for the $2. 487 Sean Tower for 10 Canadian pesos. People like to think that the SJWs are the minority. Nerdrotic, you have nurtured these morons for decades, and so have I. Universities and schools have been pumping out feminist SJW poison for decades. The SJWs have been around for a while, and they are still the minority. Absolutely. I mean, like, 487 Sean Tower. I mean, it's bad. Like, listen, in your country, yeah, it's gotten bad, but that's the big difference between your country and my country right now. The SJWs got into the country, and they're just in our cities. Now, I haven't traveled all over Canada, but I know that Justin Trudeau is your guy. But I nurtured them? No, if I was like part of the system, I would take responsibility for that. I have maybe, I don't know, I've done my part. Like, what can I do? What am I supposed to do? Go to colleges and stop it? No, I support people who support common sense. But yeah, no, I don't take responsibility for any of that shit. No way. I'll take responsibility for my own actions, not theirs. Scott Wiggins for $50. Knocking them dead, Gary. Thank you very much. I read that one earlier, but I wanted to read it again. Osiris Official for $10. The left want to turn this country into a nightmare where nobody has any rights, and their radical lies such as critical race theory will become fact. Yes, that's what we're fighting against, man. That is some insane shit. And that is stuff that would probably not even get through, but we're losing the normal liberal to TDS right now. So TDS has what would probably be a normal liberal, like, off the chain. And I know many out there on the right just don't want to even agree with normal liberals. But what I mean by, like, a normal liberal still wants to make money, still understands work. They probably want you to pay a lot more taxes, not them, but you, of course. But they also used to be for stuff like liberty. They used to be for stuff like free speech. It's just not happening anymore. It's because it's clown world. These are liberal beliefs, free speech, free expression. And now it's being stamped down because we are the boogeyman. And the boogeyman is anybody who calls out the crazy, insane intersectionality and leftism. Yeah, it's a fucking nightmare. It's a fucking nightmare. And that's why I don't see things getting better here. Now, that's why, like, we hightailed it out of San Francisco. San Francisco is not going to be safe. It's just not going to be a safe place. And not that I'm like, oh, I'm worried about my safety and I need a safe space. I don't. I've been in some fucking dangerous fucking places in the state. I've been in more dangerous places than Gavin Newsom is in this fucking state. But I don't want my kid being there. And and I don't want to revisit that shit again. I've been through it. I want to enjoy my last, couple of decades. Well, I don't know about in peace, but I'd like to try. Southeastern Kaiju for $5. Rest in peace, James the Amazing Randi. He was 92. Stay skeptical. Nah. Nope. Hell no. I co-host a show called The Exozone, Southeastern Kaiju. You've super chatted on that show. But if he was a good magician, that's cool. I like magicians. 200-watt studio for $2. It's always projected. Was that? That was the Amazing Randi. Okay, I didn't know it was James Randi. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, he used to get so... Art Bell used to talk about him. I think Art Bell actually had him on, had the Amazing Randi on a couple of times. 200-watt studio for $2. It's always been projection with these crazies. That's right. That's right. It didn't click that was the Amazing Randi. I don't know why. He's been out of my head for a while. Douglas Nelson for $2. SJWs only enjoy punishing people, even their own. Yes. You are absolutely correct. So, fucking Karen Act, dude. We are going to get Oh, there's so many articles here. I can't have time to read that. Oh, okay. It is official. Schools will not open for the rest of the year in San Francisco. Is this a surprise? What did it say? We do not, and here, I'll show you guys the article. Too many ads. San Francisco public schools won't reopen for students for the rest of the 2020 due to the issues, including limited COOF testing capacity. Officials told the Board of Education on Tuesday, we do not anticipate bringing in students before the end of the calendar year. Our hope is that over the next weeks, we're going to have testing. That's 100%. We're an educational system that's been asking to be a testing agency. When asked if SFUSD could offer a special date, Matthews noted that the New York pushed back their reopening date 3 times and that San Francisco doesn't want to reopen just to shut down. New York closed all of its schools in hotspot neighborhoods for Brooklyn and Queens. Days after reopening, the superintendent, having a 3-month supply of personal protection equipment and cleaning supplies is the furthest along. General safety measures like plans for repeated closures and surveillance testing of staff are overall 30% complete. Matthews has previously, God, state is so fucking slow at shit. It's been 8 months. Fucking goddamn. Oh, but they passed a law for fucking 911. Fuck. I can't even read the rest of this shit. Oh, you didn't see it. That's a good thing you couldn't see it. I'm not going to show it. Fuck them. Yeah, so it's closed. All right. Well, we'll see if San Francisco can survive that. Adios, San Francisco. There's actually too many articles to look at, so we'll just chat. There is a rumor out there that Ben Affleck is. I guess we can pop that one up. We'll talk about some pop culture a little bit here. Lighten the mood. I don't know if this is going to lighten it or not, but we'll see. Okay. Rumor. Ben Affleck Batman series on HBO wants Jared Leto back as Joker. Now, if you do a Batman series and you get rid of this metal shit on his teeth, these stupid fucking tattoos on his face, I think Jared Leto could play a Joker if they made him look like the Joker and not like, I don't know, Hot Topic Joker. I just want to say, I have been calling for a Batman show for 6 years on this channel. When they've been rolling out fucking Gotham and motherfucking Pennyworth and Batwoman and, you know, talking about a Birds of Prey show, bringing back a Birds of Prey show, all this peripheral Batman shit. Since day one, I have said, if HBO did a Batman show, 10 episodes a season, focusing on him being a detective with a full rogues gallery of villains and a functioning, a fully functional Bat cave and in its prime Batmobile with Alfred and the Bat family with Robin, it would make all the money. It would be the most popular fucking thing in the world. Instead, we're going to get a Green Lantern show with Jessica Cruz hail Ethan. I hope you get lots of fucking residuals from that. But we couldn't even get Jon Stewart as a lead. It's a female lead for the Green Lantern. Yeah, I'm going to call that shit. I read Green Lantern all my life, and we finally get a show, and it's like, really? But if they do Ben Affleck Batman and do 5 seasons, do a 50 episode arc, oh fucking shit, that would be brilliant. It's the kind of thing the world needs to bring shit together. A good Batman show. Yeah, we'll see. They need to do stuff like this. But honestly, what I'm hearing didn't AT&T just hire somebody from BLM, the Marxist person from BLM? So I am going to I call it all in the question. Again, I have been asking for a show like this forever. There's some no-brainer shit out here that they just absolutely won't do, though. I heard there's an Ayer cut, too. That's good. Of Suicide Squad. That'd be brilliant. That'd be absolutely brilliant. So let's read the rumor. Ben Affleck is back in the cape and cowl for The Flash and perhaps more. It was rumored not too long ago that the actor-director would get the chance to adapt his rejected The Batman script for HBO Max if he wanted to. Word is he does, but so long as he possesses creative control. I'm fine with that. Ben Affleck is probably the one actor in Hollywood who's read comic books. If Affleck's storyline, The Dark Knight goes toe-to-toe with Deathstroke, played by Joey Magnanello. He has his place, but he won't be alone if the project moves forward. Jared Leto's Joker, consistent with new reports from the summer, has a part to play. The latest updates from YouTuber Warstu? I don't know. Via Taylor Murphy at the Lightcast podcast indicate Affleck's The Batman, if it happens, would be a miniseries delving into the history and origin of Leto's Joker, what he took from his nemesis, and vice versa. How he got that tattoo reading damaged on his forehead would be explained, as would how when Batman lost his moral compass, strongly suggesting that he suggested to be Robin and turned out the way it did. Going with Zack Snyder's continuity and feeling on that matter, the lost as in fallen Robin is none other than Dick Grayson. Snyder admitted to his fans when taking questions over the last few years. I remember that. Years about his vision for the DC's extended universe. He also revealed his intended replacement was Carrie Kelly from The Dark Knight Returns. So it sounds like Joker kills Dick Grayson, maybe death in the family style, but the series isn't expected to be set in that period of time that it occurs. Instead, this aspect of the story gets told in flashback, reportedly, while the rest of it takes place some point after the Justice League. All well and good, but what if the missing link in all this is Jared Leto? Well, the rub is he is willing to reprise Mr. J and is lobbying for another crack at the gangster clown. His portrayal in Suicide Squad ravaged by studio interference. Leto sees it as unfinished business, says some reports. Wartsu notes that Joker's arc in Ayer's original cut was much different, which Ayer himself himself confirmed. It was further said by Wartzu and Warner Brothers is working with the Ayer cut in some capacity too, but it doesn't mean they'll release it anytime soon. Okay. So many rumors, so many announcements. We'll see what actually happens, how much Hollywood can actually afford. Remember, they're losing billions of dollars every weekend. Every weekend, billions are gone. We're coming up. They just missed a summer, and now they're missing a winter. And it's going to be bad. GN for $5. Have you seen those horrible theme park guidelines from California yet? If Trump wins on November 3rd, watch Newsom blame Trump for the theme parks closing. He already is. He blamed the public too. He blamed the public out loud in his press conference. He said it's our decisions that we made. Fuck you, dude. We need to live, bro. Yeah. This isn't the Spanish flu. And a very smart super chatter said yesterday, look at your history. Go look at how long it took us to recover from the Spanish flu, which was real bad. Real bad. Osiris official for $5. If we don't vote to protect the Second Amendment, the insanity will be cranked up by immeasurable volume. Yes. Well, I think last summer was a great commercial for the Second Amendment. Diego Flores for 10 Chilean pesos. Gary, have you seen Biden's awful tax plan that could screw both coasts? I think if they do that, Hollywood will die outright. Gonna send you a complete analysis of how it in a couple of days. Yeah, all I know is he is part of the machine. He is part of the machine. The same machine that ran John McCain, George Bush, part of that machine. Godzilla. 2K26 for $5. Grace has spent the last 2 years claiming Chris is a problem. That is religious. His religion was a bad look for Marvel. She said that? Okay. Well, that's why I don't watch her. If his religion is a problem, but nobody else's, I hate to break this to everybody. There's a lot of, I don't know if it's written in their sacred texts or anything, but there are some religions out there that don't like, we'll say members of them don't like the alphabet community, but it's the extremists. You can't, I don't think, do you think Chris Pratt is anti-LGBTQ? Seriously? And that's what it comes down to. Felipe Abrigo for 25 Chilean pesos. Oh my God, Gavin Newsom looks exactly like Argentina's Macri. Same crap, different files. Yep. Yeah, right? Trevor RN for 2 Canadian pesos. Newsom or Trudeau. Even Stevens. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You got me there. I didn't vote for him, though. I didn't vote for him. Osri's official for $2. If Biden wins, pray for peace, but prepare for war. Yep. Oh, we'll get to bombing people again. John Doe for £5. I still can't stop playing early access Baldur's Gate 3. It's got me playing Pathfinder, Kingmaker 2. Send help. No, if you're having fun, don't get interrupted. Just continue to have fun. By all means, continue to have fun. Fat Thor for $4.99. Hi, Gary. Have you found us a new place to move yet? That we can all call home. A cross somewhere between Mayberry, Leave It to Beaver, and Las Vegas. God, yeah. I want really nice, pristine neighborhoods and degeneracy. All, but clean. I want it clean. And I want oxygen pumped into my buildings. I'd fucking live in Vegas. But I mean, like, I know a lot of people move to Vegas and live there and then they never go to the Strip and then they learn to hate it. No. I want to live near this. If I'm going to dream, I'm going to dream big. I want to live on the fucking strip, and I will walk that strip every night. Oh my God, I'll go out every night. I'd probably get tired of it though. I love it there. Oh my God, I want to go right now. Southeastern Kaiju, Quibi shutting down. This pleases me. He says it pleases me. For $5. Quibi was supposed to be the great competition for YouTube, so they weren't able to sell it. Now it's shutting down. I'm so sad. Blue Satoshi for $5. Mr. Medicare hasn't returned lately because he's been dealing with cancer. Yes, he's more or less kept to himself to Twitter in the meantime. Well, it's quite a process you got to go through. Yeah, I feel for him. I hope he's doing okay. I watched my dad go through that shit. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, and I like Mr. Medicare. I do. It's very edgy content, but entertaining. Rhett 1 for $5. Hail Gary, check out Project Veritas's Return Google Whistleblower. I've seen. Is it the last one that came out earlier, or is it new? Because I've seen all of it up until now, unless it's new. If there's something new, I'll check it out. Elias Ram for $20. My prayers to you and your family. I'm a paramedic for New York City for 12 years, and I'm tired of almost being fired after a second record-breaking 911 stress. I was born in San Mateo, Cali. I hope you move as fast as you can. Thanks, brother. You make me think about that movie Bringing Out the Dead with Nicolas Cage. Don't be like that. Yeah, it must be. That must suck there. Oh, you're busy. I know you're busy with the crime and stuff. Say laptop from hell, please. Top Dog USA for $5. How would you like me to say it? Laptop from hell, or laptop from hell. Gentle on James for $2. Who do you think can play the best Crow today? No one ever. Jason Lee forever. That being said, I don't know. Jason Momoa, but you'd have to thin up. I'm sure I'll think of somebody. You know what? I'm not super familiar with all the youngster actors right now. Whoa. I just got so lightheaded right there. I haven't eaten for almost 3 days. I'm fasting. So I have my little drinks, and I can drink lots of water, and I can drink all the black coffee I want. I can't eat anything till tomorrow, which is rice cakes and almond butter once, and then I can have berries. But like no starch, no sugar, nothing. Basically, everything bad is gone for a month. It's only a 14-day cleanse, but I'm going to double it. So I'm old. But got a little lightheaded there. But I don't think anybody should play The Crow. The Crow is a great movie. It's a great movie. Watch The Crow again. That's what I would say. I'll think of somebody by Friday when I'm not like lightheaded. John Man McFly, thank you for the $6.99 Canadian. I appreciate it. Rogue for $5. Politicians pandering to Twitter fail to realize that it's ultimately an echo chamber. Some British guy said that. I believe so. Rogue. Thank you for the $5. John McFly, thank you for the $6.99 Canadian. I thank you for the donation. It is appreciated. You know what? I just wonder how Geeky Candy's doing. That just hit my head right now. I haven't seen her in a while. She had a kid. She's probably raising the kid. Star Trek, the original series, was a show that truly changed my life. I have a tattoo for it on my ankle and even participated in Dragon Con's Trek pageant last year. Says Runaway Siren 94 for $5. Yeah. And it's destroying it. CBS is destroying it. Now, they can't take away your love of old Star Trek. They can't. But they're guaranteeing you won't get anything new and interesting. because Alex Kurtzman's going to make damn sure that nobody ever makes this show again. He will end it. Are you making a living doing these vids? I feel like you're living the dream. John Man McFly for $6.99 Canadian. I love this job. I love what I'm doing. I am having fun. It sucks watching my entertainment fall apart though. So if I could give, I don't know, some of it back to get that shit back, I would in a minute. But I'm having a blast. And I don't feel guilty for it at all. I try to have as much fun as I can. Because, well, shit, I didn't have a lot of fun when I was young. That was due to personal decisions and shit I wasn't in control of. But I want to live the remainder of my days trying to be as happy and joyous, as free as possible. And I love talking shit, and I love talking, and I love doing this. So, yes, I'm having a blast. I am able to make a living right now, and I'm grateful for that on it. Because my wife's business was shut down. She made a lot more money than I did. And she's still working, by the way. She just doesn't have a salon, but she's currently in San Francisco right now doing house calls. And then she'll come back down here and work a little bit. And then in another couple of weeks. But yeah, she's been gone for a week and a half now. She's not going to come back till tomorrow. But yeah, she can't keep that up. So right now I consider this temporary. Working YouTube full time is a tightrope I don't want to be on very long. Considering Antitrust and YouTube could come up with some other bullshit. There might be some last minute change before the election. Who knows? Who knows? But I'm grateful. Thank you. Just wanted to say you, the Fandom Menace, and friends are an oasis of sanity in these times. Friday Night Tights has been giving me much needed laughs. Perry Chan is the best. You and your mods are great people too. Why? Thank you, Blue Water. Thank you to the mods. I appreciate you, by the way. We still have 3,500 people watching, which is brilliant. And we have 2,400 likes. That is awesome. 2 new members. And thanks to the mods, Chris Persia, Lady Gravemaster, Eric K. Mark Lozeth is out there. And according to Christie's out there. Problem being, once in a while. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Signor Nasu. We're going to say Signor for $10. Why is the name Gary always used in a punchline in movies and TVs? I know. Any character named Gary is either nerd, a weirdo, a loser, a serial killer, or gay. Signor, Nasuno. Oh yeah, I brought that up before. There is a stereotype for Gary. Remember in Weird Science? Gary, you said you were combing your hair. Ace and Gary, the ambiguously gay duo. Yeah. But I'm a nerd, so it's okay. Modalicious for $2. People who are antichrist, such edgelords. I know, Modalicious. Major. So edgelord. Gary, I know, like, the anti-Christian thing is so fucking tired. Like, you're actually making Christians. And I'm not kidding. There's people converting, and that's hilarious. I love that. But no, it's not the fucking 90s anymore, or the late 80s. There's no more PMRC, which was started by a Democrat, by the way. Yeah. Christians are pretty chill people for the most part. And you know what? The ones... and so is everyone else who are not this extreme version of their religion. But quite frankly, Christians aren't the problem. They haven't been a problem in a long time. As a matter of fact, they've probably been a benefit. I would say they have been a benefit for a long time. What doesn't get talked about is all the charities, all the people they feed, all the houses they build, all kinds of shit that they don't run around and talk about, because it's not, I'm guessing it's part of the religion not to sit there and brag about shit you're supposed to be doing. Like me running around going, I'm an awesome dad. I fed my kid this morning. What do you want, a fucking a medal? That's what you're supposed to do, So yeah, so being anti-Christian and anti-Christ, so edgy. I know. A Athras for £5. Gary, you are our daily dose of excellent ranting entertainment. This is a little coffee pocket money for you. Good luck to your family. Stay free. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to go out and get some coffee right after this. What time is it? 6? It's getting late. I'm going to finish this up and go work out. Twitter, like Reddit, is simply an echo chamber of emotionally immature folks. They get to feel important and validated through their participation in meaningless brigading and virtue signaling. They don't represent reality, said Satan Spawn for $20. And when somebody named Satan Spawn is making the most sense, I mean, not out of the super chats, but I'm comparing it to Twitter. That should tell you something. Satan Spawn is spot on. I completely agree with Satan Spawn. And that's what I was talking about earlier. There's a lack of meaning out there. It's a common thing with the, you think a lot of addiction comes from a lot of drug use comes from addiction. Now, addiction is the problem. It's the disease, right? The drug is simply the symptom, right? So there's a lot of reasons that addiction gets fed: loneliness, depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder. All these things can add to addiction. Imagine being bipolar and an addict. I mean, that's fucking hard. That's hard. That's a hard life. And nobody asked for that shit. They were just born that way, and it's freaking tough. And what comes along with that is there isn't a ton of understanding for that. But there is at meetings, and I don't mean to sound like some cult member or anything, but that's the one place in the world I have always been welcomed with open arms, no matter what. So that's where I found the answer. But there's also, people, I don't want to make this broad general statement, but a commonality I see with a lot of the sickness observed on Twitter could be dealt with pretty easily, but it's coming to terms with it and just doing a basic amount of work and understanding. But I mean, that's why it's digressing into, it's childish. It's absolutely childish. And the only reason I'm talking about this spat here is because I thought it was a good example for something, because this shit happens every day. Like, I could do a live stream called Cancel Culture Daily. Easy. And so could you. But yeah, it's really quite sad, really. But it's hard to feel sorry for people who are attacking and trying to cancel you, but they're in very, very sad situations that aren't going to end well. Like, you and I will move on. We'll move on. Gail Simone has been in the same place in her life since 2008. Sure, she's got a couple movie deals, but she's still tweeting the same shit she tweeted fucking 10 years ago. She still looks about the same, just 10 years older than she did 10 years ago. Does she look like she's grown as a person, as a human being over those 10 years? She's stagnated. It's sad. And if Gail Simone didn't try to help people, like, end other people's careers and livelihoods, I might feel sorry for her. My first super chat ever. I love your show. For the chat, I dislike both men. I can't vote for either. one in good conscience. I feel like there's no place for me. I don't know what to do. Any advice? Sun Dragon for Studios for $10. Accept the fact that you're powerless over the situation. If there's nothing you can do, there's nothing you can do. What you can do is focus on your life. That's it. I mean, like, you see grown ass people losing their fucking minds. Like, here. This is a great, by the way, I just got a big old super sticker I saw there. Here's an example of everything that's fucking wrong in this world right now. Speaking of the Karen Act. Speaking of the Karen Act. We're going to go back to Twitter for the insanity. A tweet from Ian Miles Chong.
People in history.
That sounded scary. Wait till you can see it. I don't know why it's not popping up. Hang on. That'll be easy to fix. There we go. This is a lovely melody. I think it's the feel-good hit of the fall. This should take us right through to the Christmas holidays. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Karen's the People's Republic, or the Karen's Republic. God, I fucked that up. Of Clownifornia.
People in history. We're losing our democracy! Wake up! The people in history.
Oh my God. So these are 6 people that, like, if you're sitting in your car and you get this freaked out over something you have no fucking power, I'm like, Washington does not affect you. Newsflash, Trump isn't going to get rid of abortion. It's not going to happen. So don't freak out. Biden's going to tax the fucking shit out of you, though. That's true. But generally, if there's no such thing as an inconsequential election. There isn't. But it's not worth getting this worked up over. If you want to get worked up over something, get worked over a country that allowed a fucking virus to shut down our economy. And what we're doing is just turning on each other and shit. Yeah, we know we need to focus on that government that owes a lot of countries money. And the fact that nobody said anything, like nobody's fucking even talked about that. Like, is China going to pay for some of this shit? Because they need to. They absolutely need to. But what are we afraid to say something? What the fuck? They need to pay for this shit. But as far as these young ladies freaking out, like every single one of them needs to seek help. And I'm guessing if you're getting this emotional, I mean, I always suspect drugs. I suspect drugs for everything. So it's kind of a prejudice. But the one on the top left is an actress. So she's just full of shit. The one in the middle is the craziest one because that's the one who's going, hey, chump. Hey, buddy. And this one, she's just mean. Look at that. She looks like a linebacker. Yeah. So thanks, Ian Miles Chong. Ian Miles. God. Ian Miles Chong. But that's enough of that. Sorry. All right. Let's wrap this up. Watching from Europe, it seems to me that the Blue Party threw their country into chaos in an attempt to get rid of the president and even get more power. Yep. They took an opportunity and they decided to use it to remove what they are trying to classify as the most evil thing on earth, but it's their opponent. And what the Democratic Party decided to do was go turn it up to 11, fully sell out, consequences be damned, and there will be consequences for this for decades because you just made it okay for the other side to do it too, like I said earlier. And nobody thinks a step ahead. Nobody thinks about the future. This is just about winning a game at all costs now. Instead of stopping for one moment and saying, we want to do what's the best for this country. I know you're in Europe, and Paula, we love you, and I hope your country looks after you. But like, honestly, we need to take care of our own. Fuck everybody else right now. We need to worry about this country and take care of our workers. Factories were closing down left and right because we're outsourcing a bunch of shit. You know what? Trump opened a lot of work back up in this country. You might not like how he did it, but a lot of Americans are working. And the economy was the best I've seen in my lifetime. So do you want to return? By the way, it's more likely to bounce back with somebody who's done it already rather than with somebody who, I don't know, been around for 47 years, been around for good and bad economies, but he's never had a real control over any of them. And I haven't even mentioned the scandals yet. The compromising and all kinds of shit. All I know is through this process, the mainstream media is broken beyond repair. Hollywood is irreversibly damaged. Silicon Valley is in control of us all. And we'll see what happens. But things are eventually going to be okay. Things were okay after the Spanish flu. Things were okay after World War II. Things were okay after the 60s. As far as generally, I know there's like, they're not okay. They were never bullshit. They're okay. People were getting back to work. They were living their lives. Kids were going out trick-or-treating. Not everybody is going to be happy. Gary, thanks for helping with my mental health. Hail, Gypsy Warrior for £1.99. You're welcome. Helping you, keeping you some company. That is my pleasure. And listen, like I said before, talk radio helped me out in my dark days too, for sure. Here in the Steadfast for 5 Canadian pesos. Chris Evans turned out to be a huge disappointment. Yeah, he's a Hollywood actor. He's an adult pretender. And unfortunately, you know what? He had a little range. He could have been funny. But yeah, you end up alienating half your fans and it costs you. Modalicious. Chris Evans is America's ass for $2. I fully expect Pratt to bend the knee. They're all trash. JWT 6577 for $5. Eventually, maybe. This is why I appreciate Gina Carano even more. She hasn't even come close to bending the knee. She'll give you a knee, but she's not going to bend the fucking knee. I got to admit, her act on Twitter made me a little more interested in The Mandalorian. We'll see in 9 days when I review it. I have not changed my stance on season 1. I reviewed every single episode and I feel exactly the same way. But we'll see if things get better, like I said. Paul from Norway for 100 Norwegian krona. Wednesday, January 20th, 2021, United States presidential inauguration. Yes, it's at the end of January. Sorry. But yeah, they're pushing everything to late winter, early spring. It is not a coincidence. 200-watt studio for $5. My barber, who happens to be gay and defended Pelosi, said that he is fed up with Newsom and believes he will be a one-termer. Yeah, there is no way a governor survives this economy here. Just no way. He is the face of closure now. That's what he will be. And his White House aspirations are gone forever. Good. I want to leave SF. People here are nuts, but the high paying jobs are still here. Just got to stick it out. And once I leave, I've made my fortune. Joshua Egg for $5. It's relative though. You're paying more money, but you're paying twice as much for everything. And like, I don't know what you do, but if you turn wrenches, you could make more money relatively in Texas. Probably you might not make $100,000 a year, but your money will go farther. I don't know about that. It depends on what you do. 200 watts. I mean, we stayed because that's where the best money for doing hair was by far, was San Francisco, even more than LA. And plus my wife had a clientele, but once City destroyed that, there was no reason for us to stay. I will totally come to San Diego for the meetup, says 200-watt studio for $2. Cool. Then, yeah, I'll talk to Ryan, see if he wants to do one. Troy Murray, thank you for the $50 super sticker. I appreciate you. That's brilliant. Very generous, Troy. And it says, what does it say? Oh, it's just, it's riding a rocket. Makes me think of that Ace Frehley song. On a rocket ride. Still rocking on the east side of the dirt for $20. That's right. That's right. Thank you for the $20. Speedy Lee is a member at the protomolecule level. Welcome. Snake diet, potassium and sodium. Fasting, no headache. I don't have a headache. I just got a little lightheaded because I haven't had my shake yet. No, once I have my shake, I feel great. I don't crave food. I feel like I ate like a full meal. No, it's something I highly recommend. Polaris Sucks for 2 Canadian pesos. I am on a fast I've done before. On last time I did this fast, I used to be heavy, dude. I used to be like 230. And I went to my doctor and he said, yeah, you're obese now. And that fucking rocked my world. So my doctor is my sponsor, put me on Core Restore. And I followed the rules meticulously. And I lost 50 pounds in a month. So I'm on just a new version. This one is not to necessarily lose weight. It's to just clean up just the lockdownness of everything. But yeah, if you search Nerdrotic and Amazon, my Amazon recommended page will come and you'll find Core Restore there. It's expensive though. For a 7 day, because you can do it 7 days and probably like if you want to like get rid of 10 pounds, you could probably do that in 7 days pretty easily. I'm not trying to sell you anything, but you don't have to buy it. There's other ways to do it too. You please research them, but that one worked for me. Kevin Poole, thank you for joining at the Geologia level. Hollywood brought the destruction upon themselves. Do you think there will be any redemption for this? There's always room for redemption, but I'd just like to see new blood. New blood. Thank you, T. Went, for $4.99. They've lied and changed the narrative so much through the coof, that I have had trouble believing anything they say about the Spanish flu or pretty much anything. Only fools trust a known liar, says Sarcastic Warlock for $10. Well, I studied the Spanish flu before the coof came around. There was lead coffins and millions died. Millions have not died with this. Not in this country. There isn't lead coffins. We've had some ICUs get crowded, but they have 6 beds. We don't have emergency room crowded. The emergency hospitals that we constructed are all closed down now. So I think there's a happy medium. I'm not saying open the country wide up and let everybody go. But I'm kind of saying that. I think we should get that herd immunity going and see what happens. Because I think locking down just guarantees that everybody's still going to get sick, and then we'll crush our economy as well. That's my opinion, though. I am just a dummy who's been kicked out of 3 high schools. How's this for weirdness? Captain Robert April got an email or a mail ballot in Denver, and he's not even registered. How's that for messed up? Not to mention highly illegal. That's weird and very illegal. Stephanie Littlepage, thank you for the $10. Yeah, that's weird. I got my, did I get my, yeah, I got my ballot. Can you pimp the Newsom recall? Need California voter signatures by November 7th. Recall Gavin2020.com. Yeah, I can pimp it. Here's the link. There you go. It is pimped. This is the website for Recall Gavin Newsom. The official website of the Recall Gavin Newsom campaign. Learn more. Unaffordable housing, record homeless, rising crime, falling schools, independent contractors thrown out of work, exploding pension debt, and now a lockdown population while the prisons are emptied. Hold Gavin Newsom accountable. Gavin Newsom must go. Our recall campaign is building a grassroots organization with over 80,000 California voters already signed up as volunteers to sign a circulated recall petitions. The number is growing every week, and this is just the beginning. Yeah, I hope they can do it. I signed. I did my part, man. I did my part. But I'm also fucking leaving. All right. Kevin Poole, welcome to the... I already said that. And Speedy Lee. Elizabeth Barlow for $2. Are mental health systems a joke? And SJWs show it. Yes, this is true. Phantom Boomer for $5. Hoping you'll inspire me to get back to the gym and on the treadmill, but my motorcycle keeps calling me. Oh, ride your motorcycle. You can ride your motorcycle to the gym and then ride back or ride somewhere else. Red states are worse on addiction, man. I'm from Arkansas. They lock you up and throw away the key. You wouldn't have what you have here. Says Sky Blue Brad for $5. What the fuck do you think they do here in California? They backed off on pot, but I'd done time for my addiction. But the thing is, I'm not planning to revisit my addiction. So if I don't revisit my addiction, I don't have to worry about getting arrested for anything. By the way, I have 2 strikes against me. Thank you for the $5, but dude, maybe Arkansas locks you up and throw away, but I'm not moving to Arkansas. I'm moving to maybe Arizona. That doesn't lock you away and throw away the key. Utah might, but again, I'm not picking back up again. So I don't have to worry about much. One day at a time. But California has the biggest prison industry in the fucking country. Are you kidding me? I've been inside them, dude. They make a lot of money for the state. People want to argue against private prisons. The other reason the state wants to argue that is they don't want the competition. Yeah, all these, by the way, run by Democrats, all these Democrats who say they're for all this and all that. Biggest prison industry in the country. It's bigger than most countries, our prison industry here. And it is a motherfucking industry. Trust me. As far as addiction goes, as long as I go to meetings, I'm fine, Sky Blue Bard. I'm not worried about getting arrested. I think most drugs should be legalized anyway. I think it's pointless to have, unless it's really hard. But I think it's pointless at this point. People are going to get them anyway. And maybe we can give people more towards treatment. Honestly, I think the number of people who are going to be addicted to drugs, it's gone up. It's gone up over the coof. And it's also, I mean, people don't want to hear this. People flat out don't want to hear this. But it's true. Doesn't make it any less true. Now, big pharma, in my opinion, is far worse than weed. All right. I want to preface this by saying weed should be legal. Weed should be legal. You should be able to smoke it whenever you want, wherever you want. It's personal choice with your body. That is the libertarian in me. Go smoke your weed. Get high as fuck. I don't care. But it's not like a godsend. It's not healthy for you. It's not good for you in any way, shape, or form when done over long periods of time every day. Nothing is. I've had so many debates with the weed people. It makes my head split open. It's like one debate was, it was over cigarettes. And cigarettes are fucking terrible. Absolutely terrible. I have no defense for them. And again, I think it should be illegal, but there's people who, some people I've argued with, I can't say people, have had it in their head that it might be actually healthy for them. It's maybe if you're eating an edible or if there's some pill version of it, but if you're smoking it, no. I mean, smoke your weed, but please don't convince yourself it's healthy for you. It's not. If you are smoking weed once in a while, like at a party or on the weekends or something like that, that's fine. That's great. That's like now, by the way, because the weed people will do this too. I completely agree with you. Alcohol is way more dangerous. It's way worse on your body. It's the worst fucking possible thing. As far as, it's worse than most drugs, to be honest with you, on your body over long-term use. It does terrible, terrible things. Addiction's addiction. And the symptom is the drug. So, does pot create addicts? No, addicts create addicts. Your brain creates addicts. It's not pot. It's not Coke. That is just a symptom of the problem. That being said, if for me, it's not an option. If I started smoking weed again, I'd be doing it day and night. Day and night. First thing I do when I wake up in the morning, last thing I do when I eventually fall asleep 5 days later, because I was also on a Coke bender. So I'm fully aware, weed is not this innocent thing to an addict. An addict cannot, in my opinion, just smoke weed. I'm sure there's an outlier out there who can prove me wrong. Absolutely. But I've seen that there's treatments out there that get off this drug with weed. It's like an addict's an addict. Now, if it helps you get off of something harder, great. That's good. That's good. If it eases your pain on opiates or something like that, sure. There's other treatments for that are probably just as bad, to be honest with you. There's Suboxone. That shit. That's way worse. But yeah, for the weed thing, again, I think it should be legal, but there's dangers we need to think about with it. Because there's synthetic out there that's way stronger than the shit because I didn't smoke it in the synthetic legal days. So I had purple hair or fucking shitty Mexican weed with Sambers in it and Humboldt. So I don't know. I've heard it's much stronger now. So is it okay to drive on, or is it not okay to drive on? I don't know these things, but there's no way to test it. So all I can say is be careful. That's all. I don't think it should be regulated at all. And I'm glad it's legal for the people who like to smoke pot. But it's not good for you. In doing it all the time. Once in a while, it's like everything in moderation. It's fine. But if you have to smoke pot every day, every single day to get through your day, that's not good. In my opinion. Hoping all inspire me. I mean, like, it's tough. It's tough, but and people drink that much that way too, and that's not good for you either. And I would say, yeah, drinking every day is far worse than smoking pot every day. Hoping you all inspire me. I read that one. Red States. Okay. Say his name. DJ Trump says Manor Rayan for $1.99. I say the president. I wonder if, but thank you for the $1.99. Junior Ruiz for $2. I wonder if Grace Randolph leads a whisper network. She might. No. I think, I mean, like, I get what you're saying. I don't want to speculate on one of my cohorts here on this platform. I think she is like a gossip. She's a gossip. She is the nerd. Oh God, what was the gossip queen from back in the day? None of you youngsters are going to know what I'm talking about. Not Dear Abby, but here now I got to look it up. The most feared women in Hollywood, the 1940s gossip queen. Hedda Hopper. God, there's another one. But yeah, the little gossip queens would, Hedda Hopper. There's another one. But they would run these little columns and these things called newspapers and scare the shit out of Hollywood. That's kind of what Grace Randolph is. Although she doesn't scare the shit out of anyone. She, what was her last rumor? What was her last rumor about Star Trek? And Kathleen Kennedy didn't get fired. So I think she's like all the other scoopers. She gets some right once in a while. She doesn't. That's why I think scooping is kind of lame. But your true inspiration, Gary. Thank you. Raging Rhino. It's good to hear that. $2.99 Australian. 200 watt studio for $2. Gary, you missed my chats about comics. I will try to double back and find them. 200 watt studios. If not, then I will get to it in the super chat square up, my friend. Emotionally unstable amphibian for £2. Did you miss my super chat? They sometimes skip on me and sometimes I don't get to them all, but I'll try to double back. Was rewatching BTAS, thoughts on revamped season 4. Buffy the Vampire Slayer on a revamped season 4. Who's revamping it? Gypsy Warrior for $1.99. Why would you revamp season 4? Season 4 was fucking great. That was my favorite season. Unless you're not talking about battle. What's BTAS? Yeah. I don't automatically know all acronyms. BTAS. That's not Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Gypsy Warrior, tell me what you're talking about in the chat. Twitter is awful. To find out how awful, follow me at RNetJake on Twitter. It's just so terrible, says the backbencher for $4.99. Nice shill in there. Cesario for $5, and thank you for the $4.99. it's not just Gavin, it's our congressmen and women as well as state senate that makes this state a continual corruption pit. Cesario, yes. And it's been that way for decades. And when I say, I don't think, it's not just Gavin. It's obviously our state senate and our Congress, but Gavin is the figurehead. That's who we're talking about. But obviously it's every politician involved from congressmen down to fracking teachers at this point. Sky Blue or superintendents. Sky Blue Brad for $5. Dude, in Arizona, the most of the South, they'll lock you up for THC and you can never get a job. I don't smoke THC. So I'm not worried about it. Now is that, that's oh my God, that's the pot people. They go crazy. See, when you fucking bring up the pot, they're coming to get my pot, dude. They're going to put me in jail forever for my pot. Listen, I've been in jail for pot, bro. I've been in jail for pot. You generally don't get locked up for life for pot. Stop it. If you get caught with a little bag of weed, maybe in the deep South, they'll throw you away for life. Well, don't take a fucking bag of weed to the deep South. In Arizona, if you get caught with a bag of weed, I'm guessing most cops are like they were back in the 80s and the 70s and the 90s. They see a little bag of weed. It's your first offense. You're on your way and you lost your bag of weed. Stop it. I've been arrested more than you. God, the THC people. They're not going to take your pot, guys. They're making it legal. I think Arizona's on its way to make it legal. It's legal here in California. You can go live in Colorado. You can go find a state where it's legal and you can smoke your life away. Go for it. Less competition for me. Just don't let it run. I mean, like, really, seriously, don't don't burn forever, man. Got to take a day off once in a while. It's good to live life sober. Core Restore 184 on Amazon for a 7-day kit. That is it. 200 watt studio for $2. Yeah, I've had even on this live stream, on this very live stream, even back in the day, I bring up my thoughts on pot, which again, I don't think they're that radical. I think they should be legal. I just said it's not that great for you. It's not. You are altering your consciousness. You are altering your mind. Like every day. Don't do that. It's good once in a while. It's good to take a little journey. Absolutely. I'm all for that. But if you have to do something every day, there's a core problem that has nothing to do with pot, by the way. Has nothing to do with pot. Has everything to do with you or me. That's why I was smoking pot every day and doing drugs every day. Because I had problems that I needed to deal with. And I eventually dealt with them. And I don't need to do that anymore. And it's great. Now, I mean, do I miss it? No, actually, I don't. But there are people, many of you who can just smoke it once in a while and call it a day. And that's great. And you should be able to have your fun. Absolutely. There's a guy in Durango who died from acute alcohol poisoning. Guess what was listed as the cause of death? The coof. You called it. There you go. My sister's longtime boyfriend died of that when he was 40. Alcohol sucks too. Booze is fucking shit too. I hope your son is faring well during the nonsense. Add this to the Cal Exit Fund. Cheers. Cheers. Thank you, Stephen Yarnell. I appreciate it. Douglas Nelson for $5. Did you hear that the AT&T CEO thing? By the way, hang on. John Stanky wants a second season of HBO's Watchmen. I'll guess it'll be the adventures of Dr. Mary Sue. Oh yeah, he might, but Lindelof doesn't want to do it. Well, of course, okay. After this summer, you don't think they're gonna dust that thing off? They think they were prophetic or something, and they were just. They just broke out the playbook from 2016. I mean, and so many people fall for this shit. So Watchmen was based on 2016 politics, and it happened to come out right before they re-break out the playbook. It's such a coincidence how that stuff lined up. It's almost like it's fucking coordinated or something. But it's all a coincidence. You're crazy. You're crazy conspiracy theorist. Douglas Nelson for $5. Avar Jantz for $5. Remember in classic Hollywood when the worst thing was for a male actor was for the papers to find him in bed with a dead woman or a live man? Yep. Now neither of them are a problem. OJ's walking the streets. Frank Fasano, welcome to the proto-molecule level. Monohoresion for $4.99. Potheads don't need to be operating heavy machinery or working. Not when they're on like really heavy synthetic stuff. No. And neither should alcoholics, and neither should people who don't have a lot of sleep. But they can smoke all they want at home. Please do. Culture Casino, thank you for the £1.49. I mean, if you're like, Joe Rogan loves pot because he does podcasts. Fuck yeah. Do smoke pot all day long. Great. But I mean, I see the worst of the worst too in the meetings and in the prisons and stuff. I see the end result of some people's stories, and you really want to avoid that if you can. You really do. Okay, so we said Modalicious and who else? It was 200 Watt Studio. And but Sky Blue Brad, like live in a blue state if you want to live. See, I live in a blue state, and in my blue state, I have to submit because I'm not worried about THC. I'm worried about like paying taxes and owning a business. So in this blue state, the state can now get into my books. They can get into my books. That is way scarier to me than somebody coming after my THC. The state can now dictate my board if I want to be a CEO. The state is now, they've gotten rid of discrimination laws so the state can discriminate. And it's starting to do that. My state locked down an entire city for a coof that was non-existent there. It was non-existent in San Francisco. The numbers were low. Very few deaths. All deaths are bad. But these were very elderly people in most cases. One 40-year-old died, but he had a bunch of gnarly pre-existing conditions. Very sorry to him and his family. They shut down a city for what's going to be an entire year for next to nothing. And they damned a lot of people for the future. Now, you can't fit those deaths into a pie chart. You can't fit the deaths of the relapse guy who lost his job in San Francisco and went back home to Oregon and decided to smoke his life away. Because you know what? He just got that best job. He worked his ass off for it, and they had just got ripped away from him, and he didn't have the heart or the desire or the will or whatever you want to call it to get back on the horse and go back riding again. There's a lot of those stories out there. People get discouraged. I'm not in the place to judge how much willpower you have and how you're going to make it. It sucks. It sucks to have stuff that's beyond your power affect your life this adversely. And the thing is, you can't let them win. That's the way I look at it. Like I'm going to move to a red state because in a red state in Texas, like I can open up a business pretty quickly. I'll just not smoke pot. And I don't know. I'm guessing there's a lot of stoners in Austin. So I'm guessing they're probably not that hard on the ganj. There. Now, what was BTAS? Let me see. Didn't pop up. All right, 200 watt studio. I'm going to look up. Okay, I read the one about the barber. Read the one about the meetup. There we go. I read the one about projection. Cuties. I answered the one about the comics early on. But I'll answer it again. 200 Watt Studio asked, what was my favorite 70s Marvel run or DC? I said it is either Starlin's Warlock or Starlin's Captain Marvel. And as far as 70s DC run, I really didn't read comics in the 70s, but I'd have to say what I'm reading now, Batman. Neil, well, I guess that'd be considered it's early 70s. Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams is the best run ever. But I read that one in pieces when I was a kid in the 70s, but from the 70s, you're asking. Okay. So yeah, Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams, Batman run, and Jim Starlin's Warlock. Those are my favorite 70s books. Conan too. I got to throw Conan in there. Conan's the shit. Absolute shit. I am currently in the process of rebagging and board. That'll be on the next BB&C as Conan, hopefully. And I've got my binders I'm making. And I missed another super chat. Hail, I started a YouTube channel. Ask the Cheese Gaming. Cool. Alex Kirk, welcome. Welcome to YouTube. It's a lot of fun here. I ended up with cannabis induced schizophrenia. Now 4 years clean. It's no joke, people. Wow. I didn't know that was a thing. You just got to be careful. That's all. I think there's a lobby out there that really sells like this stuff is heaven, and I just want to say it's not. It's not. It's not as bad as many other drugs though. But there's the synthetic shit out there. That's woo. That's what I heard. Did you see the live stream news report and SF on shoplifting when someone shoplifts in front of the news cameras live on the air? SF is trash. Did that happen a while ago? Yeah, I saw that one. I did, Chris G. Thank you for the $5. Yeah, that was funny as hell. I think Memology did that. My dad is hopefully sober, but he used hard stuff and alcohol to get over bad things as a kid. People are clueless on addiction. They are, Elizabeth Barlow. They need to be educated a lot more on it. I could recommend The Prosperity Mirage by Genesis Fossey if you want to learn about where the world is going financially. It's not pretty. I will check it out. This is a monitor for $10. Thank you. Dorothy. Oh, okay. Thank you, Nathan Robinson, for $5. Dorothy Kilgallen is another gossip queen. So, by the way, even methamphetamine's legal with RX. Been prescribed to it myself for ADHD. Brand name is Disoxin. Yeah. I don't know if it was methamphetamine. Is it? Okay. Yeah. I know you can, there's a cottage industry of ADHD doctors that you could go to tomorrow. They give you a little test. You say you have ADHD. They pop your prescription. Problem is you got to stay on that prescription. And what happens is people start using their drugs faster and faster, and then they have to start stealing and stuff. And then they end up in jail or an institution or seeing me at a meeting. That's the way it goes. Yeah, but the ADHD thing is, don't get me started on that. I think a lot of people running around in Antifa are all on fucking that shit. Little LARPers. All right, I got one more to read here. If I missed a couple, I'll put them on the square up. I do have to go. It's been 3 hours. I need to check on Junior. But Dark Knight for $4.99. We don't need to see the taxes of a millionaire that turned into a public servant. Need to see the taxes of public servant that turned into a millionaire. Yes. Which happens quite a bit. Infinite racism in infinite combinations. Did I do it right? Said the jester of sin for £5. Yes, you did. Can't make it to Vegas in paramedic school. Next year, are you doing something like that? Yes. Polaris sucks for 5 Canadian pesos. Last year I did 4 meetups. I wanted to do more this year, and I haven't been able to do any. It sucks. How do we cancel 24-hour news stations? Blatant truths for $4.99? Turn it off. Check out Twitter. Hope you enjoy the model. Quebec says Quebecans. Thank you for £2. I'll take a look. Jason Moore for $5. SJW politics has gotten so bad, I don't even want to watch The Mandalorian. Hail Nerdrotic. Keep up the good work. Watch it for Gina Carano, but if it goes woke, you can stop. But yeah. Had a discussion with somebody living in California about the exodus with the articles and the numbers. They devolved into, I don't believe you, therefore I'm right. Okay, here's some proof. Here is some rock solid proof, courtesy of Yellow Flash, who showed me this. I'll give you some fucking proof. There we go. Take a look at those prices. Tell me there isn't a Cal Exodus. Los Angeles to Phoenix, $1,978. Phoenix to Los Angeles, $186. San Francisco to Phoenix, $2,500. Phoenix to San Francisco, $261. Los Angeles to Houston, $4,203. Houston to Los Angeles, $793. San Francisco to Houston, $4,575. Houston to San Francisco, $914. Los Angeles to Dallas, $4,017. Dallas to Los Angeles, $1,469. San Francisco to Dallas, $4,275. Dallas to San Francisco, $1,655. That was September 13th, 2020. Renting a U-Haul to move out of California can be 4 times more expensive than moving in due to high demand. This is from the Business Insider. Yeah, tell your friend he's wrong or she's wrong, but it's okay to be wrong. We're all wrong once in a while. But yeah, I read an article. I couldn't find it again. I think they were so embarrassed. I read an article that it was a right-wing conspiracy that fucking people are leaving the state of California. Yeah, no, Bill Maher was talking about it. Joe Rogan has done it. Ben Shapiro has done it. And I'm going to be the asshole getting the lights. Metalhead 10,000 for $20. Hey, Gary, recently subbed to you and just wanted to say I bought the first 6 episodes of Star Wars, the only ones that matter, just so I don't get neutered versions later when they do a modern day book burning of movies. Great idea. And no, they'll re-edit it later to fit Ray in. So that's a fucking smart move. That's an absolute smart move. WCW2793 for $1.99. WB hired the founder of BLM to create content. Edgy Power for $1.99. Thank you for the donation. Maybe they did it to, like, they are so scared right now. They're so fucking scared. She's a Marxist. I mean, how is AT&T going to be fine when the state seizes power of the company? And then there'll be redundancies. When the state seizes power, we won't need Amazon and Netflix and Disney because we'll have state-sponsored streaming service. And then she'll probably create content for it. It'll be fucking awesome. Daniel Henderson for $5. Leave Joker's grill alone. I'm thinking Batman punched all his teeth out. Maybe. Speaking of rehab, have you heard about Ibogaine? So asked Brett Carlton for $2. No. But is it like that one-shot injection that supposedly cures you and gives you sobriety, and they charge you that shot? It's for different things, but it turns into once a month for like $1,000. Yeah, I don't know about that, man. Can you get back and click the Monica Lewinsky photo for the dial 911 for a white guy being on my TV? Keep up the good fight, says Road Rager for $4.99. I'm not going to click on that. And my story about Monica Lewinsky is this. When it happened, it didn't bother me at all. When Clinton was stooping his Monica. And then I had a kid. And then I had a kid turn 19. And then I saw how young 19 was. And then I was disgusted by it. In 1994, Biden fought against forced busing. You can hear the PBS interview on my channel. Fought against force busing. Sorry. I was like, busing? Busing. Forced busing. Yes. Kamala Harris talked about that. She did. She discussed that in her the debate. The debate. Protege Music, thank you for the $5. Recently found Romanian TV, highly recommend, says Rafael for $2. Thank you. Yes, Gary Biden was against. No, I thought the person was saying he was against segregation. So he was against desegregating the busing. Okay. He did not want kids to go to school in a jungle. Yes, he was friends with Senator Byrd. That's why I didn't understand. Maybe I'm running the show. I thought they said he was against segregation, but he was against desegregation. I was misunderstanding when I was reading. Yes, he was buddies with Senator Byrd. You're right. Nicholas Horton for £2. Thank you for the super sticker. Cesar Romero is the best Joker. Don't even at me. You are correct. Stay strong, brother. Go to your meetings. I will. Yeah, see, that was my reading thing. I thought I was reading that person's super chat as he was against, never mind. He was against, hang on, I'll try to find the original super chat because I probably just read it wrong. I am not I don't have time to find it. I got to end it. It's no big deal. All right. So Bill Asher, thanks for $5. Thanks for $2. Hawat, thanks for the 5 PLNs. I appreciate the donation. Alex Kirk for $1.99. Hale, I started a YouTube channel and I read that one. And for the Monitor for $10, I could recommend. I read that one too. Yes, one day we will get this worked out. The super chat thing worked out. I have a plan, but it's just really far behind, like everything is. Okay. I probably missed some, so I'll make them up in the super chat square up. I'm going to call it a night. I need to go have my little shake and feel a little less lightheaded. Thanks everyone. Thanks for all the super chats. Thanks for understanding. If I misread that one earlier, I'll talk about it in the super chat square up. But I could have sworn it said, Biden was for desegregation, and I'm like, huh? That's why I was like, I'm not too sure. When they were segregating schools in the early 70s. Were they segregating buses? Was it in California? I'm not sure when it was. I was 4. I wasn't paying attention. But I remember Kamala Harris bringing it up in the documentary that he was against it. But I thought that super chat really said he was for desegregation. That's the way I could have read it wrong, though. I could have read it wrong. All right, so... And it wouldn't be the first time or it won't be the last. Thank you to the Modrotics. Thank you, Eric K. Thank you, Lori Wilson. Thank you, Chris Persia, Problem Being, Lady Gravemaster, the TARDIS Zone. What's up, buddy? Eric K. And we'll call it a night. Thanks to everyone who super chatted. Thanks for all. You're keeping the lights on here. And our next live stream will be Friday Night Tights with Kurt Metzger. Kurt Metzger at 2 o'clock. I'll probably be live sometime tomorrow morning to review Star Trek Discovery for 30 minutes tomorrow on Nerdrotic Live, and we'll see if we get an Exozone. It's supposed to be on the Harvey Zone tomorrow night. It depends on our schedules and everything, but it looks like it's happening. So 6:30, 7, hopefully 7. I can't do it as early as 6:30. But other than that, and I'm on EFAP on Saturday. So I'll see you then. Look for this on Nerdrotic Live in a couple hours. Everyone have a great night. Not all who want. Oh, what are you doing? What? Dwayne. Jesus Christ. Gary, I'm up late. Here's some Java money. Keep up the good work. By the way, did you know George R. R. Martin wrote and produced some of the old Beauty and the Beast episodes? Yes. He also wrote Max Headroom. Some Max Headroom. $400, Dina. That's crazy. Oh my God. Thank you. Now I really feel lightheaded. These will be fun live streams. Trust me. So, wow. Thank you for the $400 super chat, Dina. I appreciate you. I will bring this up again. If I missed one, it will be made up. It will be made up in the live. Because I didn't, Motorola. It wasn't Motorola. Motolicious. See, I can't even say it. 200-watt studio. I didn't see your other super chats at all. Okay, I'm out. Here's some theme music. Thank you for the $400 super chat. Wow. Be good.
Nerdrotic.com.